The views and opinions expressed by the On the Spot with David Rodgers show are solely based on the show host, guests, and viewers, and we are solely responsible for all of the show's content in its entirety and does not necessarily reflect the opinions or the views of any of our sponsors in any way. These broadcasts are presented and made public by the On the Spot with David Rodgers staff in the hope that it'll be entertaining and informative to our viewers and listening audience.
Good Tuesday evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this special edition of On the Spot with David Rodgers. Tonight we are kicking off a special election season series featuring candidates for various offices around North Florida. We have invited candidates from the different races to come onto the show and have the opportunity to speak to you, our listeners. This is your show coming to you on Facebook and YouTube every Tuesday and Saturday night. You control and run this show, especially this evening. We are just a rudder that steers this big old vessel. We have you covered from Middleburg to Melrose to McIntosh, from Lake City to Lake Butler to Lake Como, from Waldo to Williston, from Lottie to Lulu, where I actually see one of Dave's cousins today in Lulu, and this is from the Sasquatch family. You know what his name is? Sally Joe. And all points in between, including Gainesville, Palatka, and Ocala, and of course, right here in beautiful downtown Stark, Florida. We start with our behind-the-scenes team, making it happen every single week. First, putting it all together behind the scene, our executive producer, Super Dave Hollins. Hello, David.
Hello, everybody.
And keeping the flow to the show is our director, Michael the Dragon Slayer Heater. Say hello, Michael.
Hello, Michael.
We are coming to you live from the On the Spot studios right here along the historic Call Street in beautiful downtown Stark, Florida. Only 1,327 miles from BB Town, Iowa. Really, Michael? Originally called Official Red Ryder Carbine Action 200-shot range model air rifle, Iowa. What? That's a mouthful. The little town in Harrison County was asked by the post office to come up with something a little shorter. Michael, did you come up with that because you was shooting your BB gun there when you was living there when you was a little man?
Something like that.
Good grief. So let's get started as we always do with our prayer, our pledge. And we're going to welcome a special guest that we got for you tonight. He's already in the camera, and I'm going to introduce him right now. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, our very own sheriff from Bradford County, Sheriff Gordon Smith. Say hello to everybody, Gordon.
Hello out there. It's good to be here. I'm glad you're here at the house.
Yes, sir.
To come in and
Yep.
this is many a night, late at night sometimes. I'm fortunate. This is where the family comes together, so I'm inviting you in. And I'm just glad y'all took the invite and offered and got to come into my home, and the community gets to see where I'm at. I mean, that's where you can't get any more personal than this, really.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and that's why this is going to be a very special show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get started as we always do with our prayer, our pledge, and of course, welcome you and Gordon as well. So I'm going to ask you tonight, sir, you've been on the show many times, if you would lead us in our prayer tonight.
Absolutely, be honored.
Thank you.
Heavenly Father, we come before you this afternoon, this evening, asking for your grace. We ask for your mercy. We ask that you put your arms around the greatest country in the world, the United States of America, the people that are hurting right now, Lord. Bring our communities together, not just here, but across this great country. We've done it. We will do it again. We will come with understanding. We need to understand each other. Lord, please let us stop drawing and taking sides. This is a common cause. We all need to come together and have understanding. I'm asking you, Lord, you are the one that can take the greatest country in the world and bring us back together and bring comfort. Bring some comfort in the heart for Mr. George Floyd's family. Let it be known that we stand together as a country to not tolerate police brutality, that we have understanding in our communities of what we do each and every day in the law enforcement world. Well, we can do that together, but we can't do it without you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right. We'll stand up, please. We're going to do our pledge. And I'm going to ask Mr. Michael Heater if he'll lead us in our pledge tonight.
Absolutely. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen.
Amen. All right. Again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into On the Spot with David Rodgers. I am your host, David Rodgers. We come to you every Tuesday and Saturday night at 7 o'clock. But tonight, we have a special edition show where we're going to meet the candidate, pretty much a little town hall deal that we've come up with. So first and foremost, I want to take this time, any candidate out there that's running for any office here within the county, within the region, you can contact us, and we can do the same thing here as we're doing with our Sheriff Gordon Smith. We can do it from any location that you would like. All you've got to do is contact myself, Mr. Dave Holland, Mr. Michael Heater, or you can go on to On the Spot 32091 at gmail.com, and you can send us a request, and we will be more than glad to answer that request. Right now, we've got one for June the 23rd, just to let everybody know, with one of the people that's running for Congress. And who would that be, Michael, right now?
That'd be Ms. Kat Kamick.
Who's right.
Running for Ted Yoho's seat that will be vacated.
That's correct. So Ms. Kat Kamick has got June the 23rd already lined up. That's a couple of Tuesdays from now. So we invite, like I said, any candidate that wants to come on, please do so and get a hold of us, and we can make that happen for you. Gordon, a lot of people already online, live, waiting to hear what you've got to say. Want to make sure we give you this opportunity as we go over some quick news for you. Please come on and ask your question. There is no such thing as a dumb question. The dumbest question, Gordon, is what? The one that's never asked.
It's never asked. And a lot of people have questions out there. They hear a lot of things.
Yeah.
It's hard for me sometimes. I get a lot of input. I got a great community.
Yeah.
But if they don't ask questions, I don't know. And sometimes they don't get a chance to see me. They catch me in the grocery store. They catch me at church. They catch me at the post office. They catch those. And sometimes, I've been wanting to ask you.
Right.
But tonight, you get a chance to ask. Come on and ask.
Exactly right. Hey, we're going to do a thing which you already know is what we call the quick and dirty. This is where we bring some of the news topics that are critical and that's come up in the area within the last 24 to 48 hours.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to ask you to help me out. I'll read the first one, and then I'll let you read the second.
Please.
All right. And here's your quick and dirty for this special Tuesday night. The investigation is continuing into a train car derailment in Clay County overnight. A single rail car come off the tracks on Doctors Inlet Road near Middleburg, and thank God there were no injuries.
Columbia County Sheriff Mark Hunter, know him personally.
Okay.
Spoke briefly earlier this afternoon at the memorial on Lake DeSoto as part of the agency's yearly public safety memorial service. Normally conducted in May, was canceled over the COVID-19 crisis that we've all been dealing with.
That's correct.
The Columbia County Sheriff's Office has 4 members that have paid the ultimate sacrifice since its inception. The program today was a chance to honor those who made the ultimate sacrifice for their community. Yes, and that's important.
Very so. Yeah. The city of Alachua is partnering with the Florida Department of Health in Alachua County to provide drive-through COVID-19 testing to Alachua residents ages 10 and older. Testing will be offered on Monday, June 8th from 9 a.m. till noon at no out-of-pocket cost to any Alachua residents, with or without insurance. That's a great thing. The test will be available by appointment only to ensure residents receive important information and to increase the speed of the testing process.
Bradford County Emergency Management reminds everyone that this year's disaster preparedness sales tax holiday continues through Thursday, June 4th. We got 2 days. Get out there to purchase extra supplies for your hurricane kit. And remember, they're expecting a more active hurricane season.
Yes.
We've been through enough, but get out there and get the supplies you need. Hopefully everybody's got enough toilet tissue, those type of things. But get out there and get the other things: flashlights, flashlight batteries, generator needs that you have. Right. And there's a list. You can go into our emergency management, give you a list of those things and what you can to get the tax free off of it. Take advantage of it. Yeah,
and you can catch that list too also on the spot. As Tropical Storm Cristobal spins in the southern Gulf of Mexico, be sure to like and follow BCEM on Facebook for breaking weather alerts, safety tips, and much more. Here now is your weather update, and I'm going to bring in our director, Mr. Michael Heater, to give us the latest on the weather. Thank you, Michael.
Hey, thank you, guys. Appreciate that one. Real quick, we want to get started with a little shaking going on. The U.S. Geological Survey is reporting that there have been 24 earthquakes in the last 3 days west of Stanley, Ohio. Now, all of these quakes have been weak, less than 3.0 magnitude, and there are no reports of any injury or damage. but not something you normally hear about. A lot of seismic activity in there. Now, with Tropical Storm Cristobal being the big weather story, there are some severe thunderstorms rolling across the upper Midwest this evening, especially from Minnesota and Iowa into Wisconsin. Damaging winds and large hail have been reported with these severe storms. Now, meanwhile, heat advisories are in effect for Wednesday and Thursday for the desert Southwest and parts spreading into California. Our biggest threat locally has been rip currents off the northeast Florida coast under sunny skies and breezy conditions, but that will change starting tomorrow night. But first, for tonight, we're looking at mostly clear conditions. Mild with some patchy fog first thing in the morning. Temperatures bottoming out right around 70 degrees. Afternoon highs under partly cloudy skies in the mid to upper 80s, and a chance of showers late tomorrow night at about 20%. Thursday's looking kind of gloomy, though. Rain chances jumping up to 70 to 80%, and the chance of rain extends throughout the weekend. Again, Cristobal is churning in the Bay of Campeche, but will begin a northerly drift later this week. With the potential for landfall possibly on Sunday, everyone from the Gulf Coast, from Galveston to Apalachicola should prepare just in case, and we will keep you updated on the latest. Back to you, David.
Thank you very much, Michael. That was a great weather report, as we always do each and every show on Tuesdays and Saturday nights. And we will give you a wrap-up on the weather once we get done with tonight's show. So, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to a special edition of On the Spot with David Rodgers. We are having a little town hall meeting with our very own Sheriff, Gordon Smith. You are lucky first, I guess. Huh? You're
Somebody's
lucky
got to always
one.
take first, David.
So,
I've learned
yeah.
it's easy to lead, follow, or get out of the way, and I prefer the leading.
You prefer the lead? Okay. Yeah, and sometimes I prefer to get out of the way.
Well, I've been there, too.
Yeah, there you go.
Big as I am, anyway.
Well, me and you both. But before we get started on some things, I just want to welcome in some people.
Absolutely.
Some of our viewers here. Got a great viewing audience tonight. Stacey Aldridge is watching. Bart Norton is watching. Kim Lee. Dwight Allen says, good evening, fellow patriots. Janie Harvey's watching. Melissa Delk says, God bless America.
Amen.
And Joanne Harper, is watching. Donald Stevens is as well. Julia Newkirk is watching. Dwight Allen says, you got my vote, brother.
Appreciate it. I need all I can get. I promise. Every vote counts.
Every vote
Go
counts.
vote. It's a primary. Got to go vote.
Ellen Disher-Williams is tuning in. David Theus is tuning in. Rick Perry says hello to me and you. Hello there, Mr. Perry. How are you? Austin Stevens is watching. Usually our weather guru hadn't been able to come onto the show lately. Had some things going on, some school things going on.
If you're not following his weather, man, you're not in.
You're not in. You got to follow him. That's right. Melissa Hampton Thomas is watching. Christopher Davis is watching from Slice and Dice Barbecue. Charles McKinney's on. Russell Smith says, love you, Gordon Smith.
From New Jersey.
Hey, there you go. From the NJ, right? The New Jersey area.
He lived in New Jersey.
There you go. Your beautiful daughter's watching.
Of course, watching Daddy.
She says, hello from your biggest fans, Caden and Kobe.
There you go, my two grandsons.
Yeah. Jeff Riggins, who I work with over in Lake City, he's on tonight. Lynn Enders is on. And Jeff Riggins, what's up? You're fixing to find out what's up because we got, like I said, a very special show tonight, very special guest, our very own Bradford County Sheriff Gordon Smith. And we're going to ask the tough questions. We want you to ask the tough questions. Bring them on right here. We're going to be reading them off as you come up with them. We've got some certain things we're going to talk about. Charles McKinney says, Smith for sheriff, keeping Bradford great. Always preaches that, of course.
Absolutely, thank you.
But anyway, we're going to get started. I had a couple of questions that was brought to me. You are not only a big hit here, you are a big hit in Lake City. Of course, I work over there at New Millennium.
Yeah.
You know some of the guys that work over there.
I do.
You know Mr. Mark Ripke.
I do. Mr. Mark. He's been, I'm telling you, good friend. He's, you know, I miss him being in Bradford County. I wish y'all were in Bradford County. I love Columbia County, but it was nice having y'all here in Bradford County home.
Yes, it
employing
was.
people, and y'all took care of a lot of people in this community.
Yes, we did, and I tell you, we really wish we were back here as well. Some of the other guys that I work with, Brady Rayberg, you know the Raybirds, and Big Brady, you got that right. So
he's the brother to the most famous Rayberg, Billy.
Billy Rayberg, yeah.
Billy's the most famous.
You know what? Just ask him; he'll tell you.
I promise you.
Yes, he will. You got that right. I promise you, he will. But anyway, again, welcome in. Waiting for your questions, ladies and gentlemen. Ask anything. Again, the dumbest question that's asked is the one that's never asked. So please come on and make sure that you join us with some of your questions. do have a couple of questions from some guys that know you personally over in Lake City. Mr. Pat Davis, known as Pat Daddy.
Pat Daddy.
Yep. And Greg Jefferson.
Greg.
Yep. Both of them has cooked for you. They say they've done a bit for you.
And they can cook, by the way.
Yes, they can. Yes, we've had some of their stuff. So,
We
absolutely.
use a little of that tonight. They knew you was coming. I'm just throwing it out there, guys.
Yeah. But Miss Stephanie took care of us. And
She
we're
did.
going to bring her over here in just a minute and let her come on and say hello to everybody. But let's go ahead and kick off the show here. The first thing is Gordon, you know, we look at 2020, and if we could go back and rewind this year, man, I tell you what, could we just start all over?
There's nobody could have picked this year.
No, there is no way.
You know, we used to worry about, I remember when 2000 rang in, they had us all out in full force, and we was worried about the computers not changing dates.
Right.
2000 was all this meaning. They didn't know what, I think they really meant 2020, not 2000, because, man, you couldn't script what we've dealt with in America. Across the world, really.
Right. And let's go back and preface back a little bit. And you've been on many shows with us, and we appreciate you each and every time that you come on and being one of our guests. But let's go back to 2019, at least the back end of it a little bit. We had the impeachment trial of Donald Trump.
We did.
Yeah, we know how all that went, and if you want to get into that a little bit later, we can. Then, of course, we had the COVID-19 crisis that came in and about, started in China, went all the way across the world.
And we really don't know when it started. Could have started in 2019.
It could have. We don't know. So that's what they're saying right now. And then, of course, you know, as we're trying to get out of this COVID-19 situation, and it looks like the numbers were starting to come down a little bit, all of a sudden we had the unfortunate incident of Mr. George Floyd that happened in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Everybody has, ladies and gentlemen, has seen that video. I think we can all concur here that was nothing there but an improper act from this former, if I want to say, police officer. I don't know what you want to call him, Gordon, but a former police officer. And like I said, we've all seen the video. We all think that there needs to be some justice had. And unfortunately, right now, the peaceful protesters that are going out there and doing their thing right now, it was going great there for a while.
They become victims themselves.
Yes, they do.
Become victims themselves. Business owners, people in those communities. I really have an issue, and I don't mind expressing my opinion on that. Because,
Absolutely.
When you have an individual, when you look at that case, we finally got a clear-cut case of wrongdoing.
Right.
A lot of times it's like watching football on instant replay. We all pull them for our team, and we don't see what we want to see.
Right.
It's not the same here. What we've seen, it wasn't misconduct. It was a criminal act.
Very good. Yeah,
Premeditated. People say, oh, he didn't know. Let me tell you, it was premeditated. He stood on that man's, with his knee,
Yes.
for 8 minutes.
Yes.
Now, us in law enforcement been doing this a long time. Now, unfortunately, we're in a business, we use force.
Right.
A lot.
Yep.
Now, when you take in totality, almost 1 million arrests a day in America.
Right.
0.033% even have a use of force.
Right.
I'm going on 34 years come October. I've made a lot of arrests. I was out there. I can tell you this, that in my 34-year career, nearly 34-year career, 4 or 5 times can I say that anybody really wanted to hurt me. Most people I got battered just wanting to get away.
Right.
As part of the escape.
Yeah. Right.
But what happened that day was a travesty. It was cold-blooded murder. I hope that he gets the first degree. Now, every state's rules are different on how first degree gets there.
Right.
It became premeditated when he knew what he was doing was wrong and still continued.
Right.
But I have a bigger problem.
I do too.
There was 3 other officers there. Now, let me tell you something. In my career, I tried to be tough. I mean, it was tough with the law, and I chose.
Right.
I know it's hard to tell, but I used to like to run.
Right.
I ran track and came out as a young cop. Liked the challenge, the thrill, and the excitement. There's been many a time when people had to hold me back.
Right.
There's been times when I had to hold them back and pull them off. When a man is in custody and he's in cuffs, it'd have been. Let me tell you, you had 3 other grown, capable officers there if he decided to act out. But this man was not acting out. That was cold-blooded murder. And if somebody's seen that different, let me tell you, look at the goosebumps. It makes my blood boil for anybody. And I scan social media a lot.
Yep.
We live by that now.
Yes, we do.
Between my Twitter, between my Instagram, between Facebook, I've only seen 2 or 3 what I call just ignorant, stupid dummies. And that's being nice.
Right.
That would say something to even go toward the direction to try to justify an action, gross action. To watch that man call out for his mother, I feel it right now. To watch the man beg for his life, there's nothing is more cruel. And when I sat with my 21-year-old son at this couch right here, when I sat with my son, who's been around policemen his whole life, and he's 21 years old, he thinks he's grown.
Right.
Watch that video with me. And the first time, other than watching some news clips on the mainstream media, where I caught parts of it, we watched the full video. And the first words out of my grown son's mouth was, "Daddy, that's why people don't like cops." You don't think it didn't pull me, didn't punch me right in the mouth?
Oh, sure it did.
This is a kid that's grown up in a law enforcement community. All my friends, he's been at many get-togethers, many gatherings, and that was his impression. When to hear every mother across this country, not just mothers of color, but every mother heard him cry out. And if that didn't, I couldn't stand to watch it twice, and don't want to watch it twice.
Right.
I hope justice comes, and I believe it will.
Yeah.
I think this is something that brought America together. Now, there are people in this country that will take advantage of the situation of peaceful protests. We've had a great prayer vigil in our community that just spontaneous, was great. Very multicultural, brought our community together. We got more to come together over than tear us apart. And I'm telling you, if you don't see something wrong with that, there's something wrong with your heart.
You're right.
There's something wrong with your heart, people. And I'm just telling you as the sheriff, but I'll be honest as the sheriff. I won't let what happened in these other cities come to our community. I want that to be known. People have a right to be mad. People have a right to be angry. But you don't have a right to tear up other people's property, and you sure don't have the right to hurt anybody else.
Yeah.
That doesn't honor the memory. We've all come together for a common cause. Let's go together and get what needs to. That man ought to be prosecuted. He ought to be sent to the death chamber, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And he ought to pay the ultimate sacrifice, because what he did was cold-blooded murder.
You know, Gordon, speaking of that, and I'm glad that you got into that a little bit, because that was one of the questions that was asked to me from some friends of mine, was how, first of all, how you felt about, what happened in Minneapolis in the George Floyd deal. And I figured that was exactly your answer. And if you watch the show Saturday night, which I think you got on there a little bit, that's what I was mad about. I asked these gentlemen, speaking, by the way, Mr. Byron Bagwell, our co-host, and Mr. Mitchell Gunner couldn't be with us tonight, but they are watching. And I proposed a question to them and to our audience was, I said, you know what really makes me mad? And everybody had an answer. And it was those three officers that stood there and let this guy with his knee on top of this guy's neck for 8 minutes and didn't attempt to pull him off, didn't say anything, didn't do anything.
Nobody can justify that.
No.
Now, here's the thing. I know they all got families.
Correct.
But even their families aren't able to justify that action.
No way.
There's not a cop in this country that is a cop.
All right.
We take an oath, serve and protect. Now, we're like any profession.
Right.
But I'll be honest with you. There's more clergymen go to jail every year than do law enforcement for wrongdoing.
Right.
Because most take the job for a reason. We take an oath to serve, not help. Serve.
Right.
There's a difference.
There is.
So when you take that oath to serve, it's my job when I see a cop doing something wrong to correct it.
Yeah. Right.
Go up the chain. There's ways there to take care of action. But I'm just going to be brutally honest. Across this America, public safety unions have become so strong. Now, I'm going to catch backlash.
Yep.
That it's hard to discipline or fire an officer for wrongdoing because of the unions.
Right.
Now, I know there's some liberals out there. Oh, gee, no, Sheriff. There's going to be some union people say, hey, Sheriff, boy, oh, shut up. Don't say nothing. Y'all know me. I'm not politically correct. That officer, from what I've seen, and I'm on the inside circle of that, just like you do for a teacher, you get that inside, have been disciplined 18 times. Any of those 18 times, any one of those individual 18 times, a deputy sheriff would have been terminated.
Sure.
We have people that ran for president that dropped some of his previous charges and weren't disciplined in. That's how deep this goes. It goes to when you can't. Now, I have an understanding for officers' rights. And if I wrongfully mistreat a public servant that works for your sheriff's office, if I mistreat them, there's an attorney on every corner because there is a Bill of Rights for officers written in state statute that protects them from people that make false accusations. Yes, that happens. You know, I was blessed, fortunate when I was police chief. I was the first one in the North Florida area that started using body recorders. We didn't have cameras back then.
Right.
Saved us a bunch. Had people when it was first brand new said, "You can't record us." Yeah, there's no right to privacy speaking to a law enforcement officer.
Right.
Body cameras. We're one of the first in the area to have body cameras, thanks to my board of county commissioners.
Right.
Ross Chandler, Commissioner Ross Chandler, was the first one to step up and said, Sheriff, I support you. And they followed suit, and we've had body cameras. Now, I don't get many complaints. We don't receive many complaints from the public, legitimate, what I call complaints on the officer's wrongdoing.
Right.
We investigate them. It's recorded. They know it's recorded. We just don't have a big issue with that. However, it's a lot of recording. It takes a lot of time, and it costs a lot of taxpayers' dollars. But we do that. But we were one of the area's leading agencies when it comes to body cams. When I was a police chief, we did the body recorders. And once officers learned to use them, and they learned that it protected them from those false allegations, we don't get many false allegations anymore.
And you're right, Sheriff. And I want to get to a couple of comments here. And that was a great explanation on what you've seen and what your son's seen in that film that y'all watched during this George Floyd arrest. Russell Smith said, Sheriff, what are your plans to keep Bradford County safe if protests start up and down home like this, like what you see is going on?
Oh, absolutely. Protest, I have no problem with protest. Like I said, we had one Sunday, it was spontaneous, that popped up. We all got there. I plan to be part of it. I'm as angry as anybody else out there.
Yeah.
So the protests don't bother me. My problem comes with the troublemakers. Yeah. We will deal with troublemakers swiftly. We prepare. We get engaged with our community. Right. Before you showed up tonight, I was engaging with an individual on a Facebook post. You know, I got the information, found out who was called. I said, "Oh, Sheriff, sorry, I'll take that down. I didn't mean anything." They were poking fun, but people take that down, and we can't joke right now.
Right? No.
And I know this individual. He's a dear friend. But I can tell you this: we got great community leaders.
Right.
That reach out of all spectrums of our community. No matter what race, color, creed, religion you are, I have people reaching out and say, Sheriff, be aware of this. Sheriff, be aware of that. If you need help, we're here. If we need to go see somebody, we're here. So in my community, because we are so engaged, that we're able to make a difference a lot of times before it ever happens.
Right.
You know, this weekend it was the Walmart thing. What's going on at Walmart? The cops have, since COVID started, Walmart, they had the extra security. Right. We had somebody make a post. Gainesville sent it to us. But we were there anyway, and then just happened to be a shoplifting at the same time, so you had more than the one car. But it went viral, and there was no real, you know what I'm saying? Anything on social media, people hide. They do things they would never do. I'm guilty.
Of course.
I say some things back sometimes, and I go, ooh, that's probably not good. Take that down.
Take that down.
You know, it's because I like to poke fun. My friends and I, we like to laugh and joke sometimes, and then you go, right now it's not a joking matter.
No.
So we're taking it all serious. We got the intelligence unit from Northeast Florida. They're mining social media, looking for those tweets. They're looking for the TikToks, the Instagrams. They're looking for the
tweets,
tweets, the Facebook, and the Snapchat.
Right.
They're mining all that data, and they send us that information. So we're taking that serious. We're trying to stay ahead of it, not behind it.
Now, let me ask some, Sheriff. You know, you were talking about the protests. We don't mind, of course. The protests are your First Amendment right.
Man, that's what changed America. That's what changed America.
That's what you know. When Dr. Martin Luther King, you know, did his Million Man March. You know what? Everything was peaceful. There was nothing there that incited riots at that point. And that was back then in the '60s, where racial tensions were really high.
Before the Civil Rights.
Correct.
We never had the Civil Rights Act.
That's
1967, we wouldn't have had that. If it had been those people, you could try violence, that doesn't change anything.
No, it doesn't.
It turns people against your cause.
Right.
Martin Luther King was a smart enough man that had a vision.
He did.
He said, you know, if I do it this way, it's going to be a little different. You know, in regards to it. So it's the type of things that we've changed that have really made a difference.
Right.
In regards to, and people, when I hear people, I had a minister of color this weekend.
Yes.
That spoke, and he said, you know, those that reach out there say, has it really changed? What hadn't changed is your heart.
Correct.
Go back in a generation before us.
Right.
Go back to our grandparents when they had to use different bathrooms. Ride the back. You know,
right.
You think about how cruel that was. We can't fathom. We didn't live it.
Right.
I can only read it. It makes you angry to watch. You know. So if to think that it hadn't now, do we need more change?
Absolutely.
We've got to have a better understanding.
We've got to work more together.
We've got quit, like I say, quit taking sides.
Yeah.
No matter what your politics are, quit taking sides. Right. We're all God's children.
Yes, we
all are here to make a difference. Be productive. If you think taking somebody else's stuff is bettering your cause, you're just wrong.
And I've got a question with the protesters as well in the bigger cities that you're seeing that we're all watching. The looting and the rioting. What's happening is a lot of the rioters are mixing in with the peaceful protesters.
They do. That's always been
a problem. One of the questions that was asked to me is, as the sheriff, you've got the peaceful protesters, and then you've got the people that are rioting, and of course, they're hiding behind the peaceful protesters. You're trying to bring peace to all these cities. How can you do that when you really don't know? You know what I'm saying? Who is really a peaceful protester? And I know everybody's watching, and who is not. And you're trying to, disseminate a situation. How do you make the determination?
It makes it a little tougher during COVID time because
Yes.
everybody's got a mask. So
That's
you've
correct.
got it. Usually when you go to somewhere and you've got a mask, they said they're trying to hide something for a reason.
Right.
I can't do that right now. It's a little difficult. But what I've learned is when we know that there's going to be a protest, that somebody wants to protest,
Right.
we rope off an area and say, come protest. Hold your signs. Say what you want to say. It's freedom of free speech. The constitutional right to protest.
Right.
That's how America is as great as we are. However, those that don't get inside this group and you're outside this group and you're doing something, we're going to take different action.
Right.
I've learned one thing, and it's an analogy we was taught from back in dealing with large crowds. It's the first person to throw a stone, you put them in jail.
Right.
The second person throws a stone, we put him in jail. That third person draws back and goes, I'm probably going to get in trouble.
Right.
You deal with it swift, fast, get them out of there. Mm-hmm. Now, sometimes, unfortunately, you see the dyes that we use, sometimes with mace, tear gas, we use dyes and stains in it.
Right.
Because people say, well, you ever seen a fight at the high school when you're growing up?
Of course.
What happened?
Been in many of them.
What happened? Well, I didn't try to fight. I was a kinder, gentler guy. But what you learn is when something happens, when a gunshot goes off,
Yep.
what's everybody do first? They stop and look, see where it comes from. Decide where I need to run.
Yeah.
Or if there's a fight, what's everybody want? Everybody want to see.
That's right.
So when you get a large crowd, not everybody is necessarily bad, but it gives cover or shade for those that want to do. They get around the corner, they bust the window out. They see where the cops are. They distract you. People prey on this, and unfortunately, there are paid agitators. People make money from it. People make money. When I can go online and hire as many protesters as I want, I get paid $15 an hour to show up. These mayors and these cities are dealing with these problems, and there are people behind the scene for their agenda. A lot of it political, by the way. I'm going to tell you, most of it is politics.
Yes, it is.
Because the people of that community don't want their community tore up.
Right.
Do you think they want their store tore down?
No.
They go around the corner and buy what they need to buy? They don't do that.
No, they.
But unfortunately, there's a criminal element in every community that would love to see something happen. And it's opinionated usually, or it's set on a false set of facts, or they want people to follow their reasoning.
Right.
So that is their agenda, or I'm just a criminal, and guess what? I can take advantage of this. And they're going to exploit that situation for their own personal benefit, and they don't care about nobody else.
As I was looking at some of these things going on in these different cities, I got to sit back thinking, and I know you for a long time, and I know sort of how you think. And I'm sitting there thinking, I wonder how sheriff would handle this particular situations. I'll tell you what I wish would happen. I wish that more of our leaders, or the mayors and the governors of these states, come out and tell these peaceful protesters to protest during the day. You know what I mean? Do your thing from within. If you've got a curfew,
they're trying by curfews now. But if you have one, you better enforce it.
You better enforce it.
And if you're out past that, good people or not, because what happens is, I've learned one thing as being a law enforcement officer. If I catch somebody by themselves, I have very little resistance majority of the time.
Right.
If I catch them with somebody, I'm going to have some blowback.
Right.
That's going to be tough. I'm going to be show out a little bit. Once I get the cuffs on, they start selling tickets, per se, as the old adage would go. We get that. So I understand the difference why we try to, here's the overwhelming force. Right. If I come with overwhelming force, people say, why'd you bring all that? Because you know what? We didn't have any trouble.
Right.
Yeah. If I show up 1 in 100, well, guess what? I can't enforce nothing.
No.
So that's the reason for the overwhelming force part, is so that you don't have to use force.
And again, going back, and you're exactly right. If these peaceful protesters would come out in a certain time range, do their thing, and then go home, and then anybody else that's left out there during curfew or past curfew, probably your looters and your rioters
we
and those
had
things there. And then the numbers swell down, and then the law enforcement, National Guard can handle those particular situations.
And what I see in a lot of these cases is the young kids. They've been hemmed up. They've no school. They've been no nothing. So they're getting out, and they're exploiting the younger children. I watched the commissioner in Cleveland. Right. I'll be in Cleveland for my half-brother's wedding in August. And when I see him come out and say, quit exploiting our kids, they're handing kids bricks, y'all.
Yes,
they're driving down the road, pull up the car next to kids and hand them a brick.
They're hiding bricks on pallets
but
in alleys.
But you see these things, and people in their community are going, hey, put that down, take your brick back.
Yeah.
They don't want their community destroyed. I don't want my community destroyed.
No.
They don't want their community destroyed, so the people that live there don't want it to happen. But in every community, you got those 2 or 3 that will do that. And when you get that, then you get the people that are easily persuaded. What do you think the military recruits you at 18, 19 years old?
Oh, yeah.
They convince you you're invincible.
Invincible. That's right.
You get me at 30, I'm saying, I ain't jumping out of that plane.
No, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, you're right.
You have a little more wisdom, a little more life experience to realize you can't. But young people, the ultimate storm came together with everybody being pinned up, can't go nowhere, and now you can't stop me. So then you got all the spectators, and then you got what they call a mob mentality.
That's correct.
You got people doing things that they normally, and they're going to look back a year from now to you and say, was I stupid?
Stupid? Yeah.
And that's what you're going to get. Now, it's a shame, but as a country, we're going to get through this.
Yeah, you're right. Again, welcome to On the Spot with David Rodgers, special edition here at a little town hall right here with our sheriff, Gordon
I'm so
Smith.
glad y'all came into my home, man. This really makes it comfortable.
Yes, it does.
I keep showing my Gator class, by the way. I can't talk sports. It's politics tonight, but you see that Gator on? I keep flashing at the TV cap trying to drink it now.
Me and Stephanie don't see a thing.
That's the Seminoles. I think it was mixed marriages, man. My wife's a Seminole.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's why I get along with her so well. Matter of fact, we're gonna bring her on in just a couple of minutes. Got a lot of questions coming. Gordon. We got one there from Jeff Riggins, who I work with over in Lake City. Big fan of yours. He says, "What is your opinion on the sheriff of his statements from Lakeland, from Polk County? Do you know him first of all?"
I know Grady well.
Okay,
We did at time. I spent many hours with Grady. I love me some Grady Judd. He said it like needed to be said. He's not a politically correct creature as myself.
Right.
He says it pretty as like it is. Don't come into people's homes. Don't threaten us. Some of these people you see putting threats out there. We're coming to the rural areas. We're going to do those things. He said what everybody's thinking.
Right.
And he's got the right. And I feel the same way. If you come breaking in my home, I'm going to put you back out the front door.
Exactly.
I'm going to protect my family. I don't lock the door at night because I hate my neighbors.
Right.
I lock the door at night because I love those that are inside my home.
Yes.
And I'm going to do all I can to protect them. It's just that simple.
Yeah, Jeff, I hope that answered your question there. I've got a few things here. Mitchell Gunner says, our co-host says, I will try to vote for you at least 5 times, Sheriff. Where's he going to get 5 votes
I like that. I like that theory. I like that idea.
I do too. I like that as well.
He's not a Democrat.
No, he's not. Charles McKinney says the other 3 are guilty as well, which we've all said. Julia Newkirk said what's happening is a very sad situation. Angel Rogers says she agrees with you 100%. Crystal Moore says she loves her sheriff. Byron Bagwell, we talked about this. Me and Byron talked quite a bit on phone because of the co-host stage, seeing what we're going to talk about.
Absolutely.
Byron brings up a good point. He said this is no longer about George Floyd, but about an agenda.
Oh, it has. And that's the sad part. Because George
Yeah.
Floyd needs all the attention, and we all need to be together to follow this case to make sure that it is brought to justice.
Yes.
Because I think that's where America could come together. We all know this is wrong. But unfortunately, as anything, when you get politics involved, people have agendas.
Yep.
You have people that want things done one way, people that want things done another way, and the American people get forgot about.
Right.
And it has nothing to do with George Floyd. But we should keep our focus. We should always mention his name. I don't care about the corrupt, dirty POS cop.
Right.
That's what he is.
Right. Exactly.
He's a murderer.
Yeah.
He's no different than anybody else. He must pay twice the consequence of any average citizen because he had public trust.
Right.
And when you have public trust and you betray that, the consequences ought to be more difficult.
I agree.
I say that.
Yes.
Whether it be me, my brothers, my family, my friends,
Right.
when public put trust in you, the consequences ought to be more severe.
Right.
I'm a true believer in that. So with that being said, we need to focus on George Floyd. I don't know what the cop's name is. Don't care. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Other than make sure that he gets justice.
Right. Again, welcome into On the Spot with David Rodgers, special edition. My name is David Rodgers, your host tonight. right behind the camera here, doing all the things that you see on the screen there, is my producer, Super Dave Holland. Say hello, David.
Hello, David.
And you just heard the disclaimer read earlier in the show, plus the weather given is our very own director, Mr. Michael, the Dragon Slayer Heater. Say hello, Michael.
Hello, Michael.
Hello, Michael. What? Hello, Michael. Good grief. All right.
Man.
Well, I'm going to tell you what.
Comedy
I want to take, very much of a comedy. We got a lot of questions here, but I want to bring somebody in. A lovely lady that I know. And you know why I love her so much? Because she's a Seminole fan. I want to bring your better half in here. Let me bring Miss Stephanie Smith on. Everybody, say hello to Miss Stephanie Smith. She doesn't want it, Dave. She just wants to come in and say hello. Miss Stephanie Smith. This is Sheriff Gordon Smith's lovely wife. Been out of work 10 weeks, and you just got to go back to work today.
I just went back today, Dave. It was very bittersweet. I've enjoyed being home and being with my grandkids.
Right.
And yet I've also missed my patients. So it's very bittersweet, but I like routine.
Right.
So the good thing about working is it puts you in a routine, and I'm a very routine person. So
I
I
got
had
you.
a very great first day back.
Did you? Was you
Yes.
busy? Real busy?
Very busy.
Very busy?
Yes.
You know why we get along so great, Stephanie?
Because I'm a Florida State.
Oh.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. How about that? Oh, no, right. Yeah. We're getting the Gator talk and everything else over here. I know Chris, I think he's a Gator fan too, isn't he?
He is. I
Yeah,
love
something's going on back there.
I love him, but the
Yeah.
only thing wrong with him is he is a diehard Gator.
Yeah, he
and I'm
is.
a diehard Seminole. So.
But you know what we all have in common in this room?
What is that?
We love our Bradford County Tornadoes.
Amen.
Amen.
I'm going to tell you what, man. I can't wait for football
Yeah.
because I'm going to tell you, they're going to be good. We're going to have Coach Tomlinson on Saturday.
Oh,
Or
are you?
he's gonna, yes, we are, this Saturday.
Wow.
Come
Wow.
on, Coach T.
Yeah, Coach T, I think he's got this team. We got a lot of returning players. Have you seen some of these kids that's gotten some scholarship offers and
Oh,
things?
man, they've had some great recruiting going on.
Yes, they have. Yes, they
Bradford County's
have.
had some of the best recruiting years we've had in a long
In
time.
a long time. And you got to thank Coach T and his staff
They
for
work
going
hard
out
because you got to
there.
put all those videos and work with the kids
Yeah.
and the families. That's a lot of after-hour time
That-
they put
that's,
into our kids.
that's
A lot
exactly
of hard
right.
work goes into
Yes,
that.
it does.
It sure does. It
So-
sure does.
Thank you,
Thank
Stephanie,
you,
for
Stephanie.
coming on. Say hello to everybody again.
Hello, everyone, and let me leave you with this. Go Knowles.
Get out of here.
She said good.
But if you like the Knowles, vote Gordon Smith.
If you like the Knowles Ford Gators, it doesn't matter. Go Gordon Smith. He is the best man for the job. No man will ever love our community like this man right here.
I agree.
Really good job.
Thank
Great
you, Gordon.
job.
Thank
Hey,
you. That made me blush.
yeah, make you
There you
blush.
go.
I see a tear in your eye.
Wow. You're
Just
redder
real
than the
quick,
title.
Can I bring in your son-in-law? I love this
Absolutely, you sure
guy.
can.
Let me tell you what. Mr. Chris Coffey, come on in here just a second, my brother.
Let me have my secret second. I'm gonna go to.
Are you okay? All right. I'm gonna
Say
make
right
that.
there.
Yeah. All right. Mr. Chris Coffey's coming in. He is one of our assistant principals over at Bradford High School.
Yes.
Anytime I need something, first of all, he works with my other half, is Shelly Rodgers, which she's been doing a good job.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She runs,
Yeah,
she runs the place.
She runs the place. That's what everybody says. That's what everybody says. But glad that you can join us. Just real quick, I know we got a little special thing going on. How's things going over at the high school? What do we got coming up here in the next just couple of weeks? Big graduation.
Yeah, graduation. Finally getting to do graduation ceremony and celebrate our wonderful class of 2020. Got senior awards coming up that Tuesday night, and then baccalaureate service that Wednesday night.
Right.
And then what everybody's been waiting for, graduation that Friday night. So we're excited
Good
about that.
deal. Good deal. Anything in this? Well, I know you probably want to leave this to Coach T. Can you give us anything about the football season coming up? Anything coming up?
No.
Anything that you want to give us out a little bit?
Just like you said, just excited to get back to any sort of normalcy.
Right.
With our volleyball starting up as well, football,
Yeah.
everything. Just get back to some normalcy, get chance for the kids to get out there and compete. And yeah, looking forward to all of it.
Good deal.
Hopefully we can get back to normal. So.
Well, I tell you what, Chris, we appreciate you coming in. You work with a fine staff over at Bradford High School, from the principal, Mr. Simpson, to your other compadre there. You want to say hello to her?
Yeah, Miss Atkins.
Yeah, Miss
the
Atkins,
number
of course.
The number one assistant principal there.
The-
Her backup. So.
I think y'all are 1A. 1 and 1. Yeah, 1A, 1A, I think, man. Y'all do a great job. You got a great staff over there. I wanted to thank you for coming on while the Sheriff took a little bit of a break. Thanks, Chris, for everything. I appreciate it. So, hey, this is Sheriff Gordon Smith's family part of
sweet tea, man. I don't know what's going on. I thought he was going to slip it into more sweet tea.
Well, I don't know what the heck happened there, but anyway, glad that y'all can be on. We're going to get back to the questions. Nora Gibson said, will you fix signs to 45 miles at Mosley Farms in Hampton? And can you change the sign at the bypass from 75 to 65 miles an hour, please?
75? I'm not sure we have a 75.
I didn't think we did,
we don't have 75, but I can tell you.
I know some people drive it that way.
We just had some signs fixed. Mr. Jimmy Davis Trucking, had been working with us, and he had a little more pull than I did. He basically, we made contact. They had speed limit on one side of the bypass at one speed going south, and of course, there's a lot of traffic in there. Where a lot of semis between there and the Ford place. And let me tell you, concerns community leaders from our county.
Right.
Met with DOT. They were able to get some of that changed. We still got some working out. I'm still upset with the bypass interchange thing.
Right.
It's creating us a lot of havoc, as you can tell.
Right.
A lot of accidents. But that was some last minute decisions. So we're still fighting with DOT. I don't want to say fighting. Right. We try to work with them as much as we can to get what we can get accomplished, because traffic is a very important factor to us.
Right.
It's with everything going on, the bypass has already hurt us with our gas tax, which does roads and those type things.
Mm-hmm.
And then now you have the COVID thing, so it's really bringing in a big issue. But Noah, if Noah will give me a call, we'll work with the Mosley Farms, any county roads, state roads, we'll look and make the right contacts. So Noah, please reach out to me in the next day or two, or text me on my phone, call me, 352-494-3328. And let's look over that. If there's an issue, we need to address it. Come get me. We'll ride the truck. You show me whatever we need to do to get it fixed. I mean, those type of issues that the citizens should have input to help us get these things resolved.
You got that right. You know Ms. Stacy already.
I do know Ms. Stacy.
She says, are we still honoring COVID-19 restrictions?
We still are. We've not moved into stage 2 yet. We're expecting, hopefully this week, something from the governor to get us into stage 2.
Right.
The testing. Let me tell y'all, our health department, you can walk in and get tested at our health department.
Wow.
We used to do the drive-through. Now they're there. We're trying to keep our numbers up. We work with our health department on a daily basis. Those people I got to give a shout out to. They work they're smaller than us. In Bradford County, last week when we checked, I haven't checked here recently, we were number 2 in the state per capita testing. Number 2.
Wow.
For our population and testing people. Now, if you notice, our numbers have only gone up 3 in the last 3 weeks.
That's correct.
And we're testing more and more people. We still want to keep testing people. We want to know this information is critical to us opening things up and getting back to normalcy. Yeah. So, and we need to know the effects. I mean, we've had it affect members of the sheriff's office, family. We people I know and love and care about, it's affected. However, the more testing we can do, the more they can track it to see the effects that it has. And we've accomplished by not overwhelming our hospital systems. And to do that, we got to stay on top of the numbers. It doesn't hurt to get tested, I promise you.
No, it doesn't. Michael, you got something you want to put in?
Just real quick, we've topped over 1,700 people tested in Bradford County. As of this morning, we're still maintaining the same numbers we have, so we have dropped below 3% for the positive presumptive testing, putting us still way below the state average and way below the national average on that one. The numbers are continuing to drop in percentages. Again, reinforcing what the sheriff has said is that we are maintaining the highest level of per capita testing across the state of Florida.
Good deal. Absolutely excellent. She said also, as far as the burn ban, can you explain what type of burns they can do?
Yes. Right now, only commercial. People that get permits can burn. Like today, I seen somebody on some social media, I can't remember which one it was, said somebody's not paying attention. Well, Camp Blanding was burning. Some other areas are burning. And they have because they got the commercial equipment there. They can extinguish it. We're praying if we get the substantial rain to keep, because we're dry, y'all.
Sure we are.
Our community's dry.
Oh, yeah.
We opened it up for a brief time because everybody was cleaning the yards, and really the sheriff may have pushed it a little bit to get less of people that they've been in their yards, been home to try to get some burn. We had some rain, but after that rain, we went dry again.
Right.
Now we're getting some substantial rain. We hope to get a little more. It looks like we may get some possibly this weekend. Yeah. Hopefully, no storm, but we like the rain to bring that in so we can open it back up for people to burn. And I'm going to be honest with you, most of the community is really complying. But prior to us doing that, we'd had neighbors' burns get out of control. We've lost barns and boats and cars from their neighbors burning. And we were trying because our fire services are still, we're still new, we're still young,
Right.
and we're trying to keep from overwhelming them during this time of crisis.
Well, even our director, Michael Heater, is one of our illustrious firefighters. And
he's a fighter.
yeah, he mans the station over in Theresa there and does a great job. And there's sometimes when he's on the show where we got a little special segment for him to do. Hey, David, I got to go. You may have to do that segment.
If it wasn't for the few volunteers we have, we'd still be struggling.
Yeah, you're
we
exactly
still have some
right.
good volunteers that still step up, and they work a lot of their time giving us to our volunteers.
We'll go over some comments, and ladies and gentlemen, I promise I'll acknowledge everybody that I can on the show. Cindy Norberg said, yes, it was murder, and she loves you, Sheriff, by the way. Mitchell Gunner says, protesting is one thing because everyone has that right. That is your First Amendment right, the constitutional right. But when you loot, assault people, and destroy others' property, then it's a criminal act. Of course, couldn't have said it better there. Lisa Moody Tomlinson's joining us. She's in Ormond Beach. She says she loves her sheriff.
Well, I would tell you, the Moody's, let me tell you, that's a great family in this community.
Yes.
They're good, God-fearing.
Yes. And the Tomlinson family's a good family
I
as
don't
well.
know them as well, but
Right.
I've known Lisa. We all through school, and there's cousins and family. Let me tell you, they are just good people.
Yes, they are. Let's see. Noah wants to know, Michael, just real quick, is there a potential of a hurricane?
Well, I'm going to say
I wouldn't put you on the spot.
I'm going to say no. Now, a decent-sized tropical storm, yes. Right now, the latest model run this afternoon shows New Orleans. However, the steering currents are very weak, and we are looking at a cold front moving in from the Canadian Pacific Northwest. So, Apalachicola westward still needs to pay attention to this one.
And they don't need any more out there, man. They
don't. But I don't see this as a hurricane. I do see this as a decent tropical storm, rainmaker. But we really won't know until it starts to get its act together, probably the next 72 hours, and they'll have a better track on it. And again, the emergency management page for Bradford County Sheriff's Office will have the latest information. We track it 24 hours a day.
That sounds great. Thank you. Greg Rolls watching. Julia Newkirk. Love makes a difference. I think you've been preaching that. Love does make a difference. But you know what, Sheriff? Let me say this, though. When I say I love you, and I've said it to you many times, you told me that too. I mean it when I say it. You got to mean it when you say it.
Do you know why I say that? My mother instilled in us and her four boys, all of us. She'd always say, you need to tell people how you feel about them when they're alive. Yep. We used to always make these comments about people dying. They'd go to a funeral and they'd be arguing and talk about their love. She goes, if you love somebody, we didn't grow up with we grew up with a lot of love. My mama hugged you, my mama kissed you,
Mm-hmm.
she whooped you.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. There wasn't no whipping, it was a whooping.
You
You know what I'm saying? Mama didn't play. Well, she did, but it was whatever she wanted to listen to. But she learned. You tell people when you see them, say, hey, I love you. You say it sincere.
Yeah.
Just like if you say you're going to pray for somebody,
Right.
you better stop what you're doing and pray.
Right.
Now, I quit closing my eyes while I was driving to do that. I'll be on the phone somebody, I'll pray for you. I learned you don't have to close your eyes to pray.
No, you don't.
But it's one of those type things. So I try to say it to people as a word of endearment because you really have to have a heart for people, even people that you may not get along with,
right?
People that you disagree with. That's what makes America great. Other countries can't do what we do.
They can't.
So you may not agree with everything. My wife doesn't agree with a lot of things I do, but we still sleep in the same bed every night.
That's correct.
That's the difference because she don't agree with me on everything. I'm very opinionated. I know it's hard for you to believe.
Really?
But with that,
can you write that down for me so I can get them?
But at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, she's firm with the grandkids. I'm that guy. They can get away with whatever they want to. Makes my son-in-law mad sometimes.
Right.
Kind of thing. At the end of the day, we're all God's children.
Yes, we are.
And it doesn't matter what faith you are. It doesn't matter what religion. You got to have faith and you got to have hope.
Right.
And if you take that from somebody, I'll give you an example. My staff despises when I go back to the jail. I visit our jail. I like to just walk through there. If people got problems, I want to hear it.
Of course.
They hadn't heard from their public defender. They hadn't heard from their attorney. They hadn't heard anything from their spouse. They hadn't heard anything from their husband. When you walk back there, the majority of those people incarcerated in Bradford County, we have to live with them. They're going to get out.
Yes, they are.
They're not bad people.
No.
They make bad decisions.
Yeah.
So there are some evil people back there.
Yep.
Make no mistake about it. There are evil people. And I don't mind dealing with them. I'll just be blunt with that. But the majority of people I know their mamas. I know their daddies. This has been my whole life serving my community. And when they get out, I'm going to run into them at Walmart.
Sure you are.
I'm going to run into them at the restaurant eating. I drink coffee with some of them sometimes.
Right.
They're human beings.
Right.
But by the grace of God, I wouldn't be going, I'm an old heathen. Thank God he's got a good sense of humor.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, it comes to serving your fellow man. And
Right.
people say, I hear this from time to time. People say, Sheriff, you're running everything in the county. Well, no. But however, who else is going to do it?
Yeah.
You know, they say, well, you've got, let me tell you, we have a responsibility to serve.
Right.
We're not a rich county.
No, we're not.
And we have to find ways of doing things sometimes with nothing
Right.
instead of less. We have to be creative. Now, sometimes that offends people. I get that. It doesn't go unnoticed by me. That's not out of arrogance.
Right.
You try to deal with it in a way that you don't hurt people's feelings. But being the sheriff, sometimes you have to make those tough decisions with people you've grown up with your whole life.
Sure. Sure.
You've grown up with your whole life. I'm no fireman. I inherited the fire department. 4 commissioners come see me, and I talked to them personally. We had to do something. We're a fix right now. And the county's going to make those decisions. That's for the Board of County Commissioners. It's the county fire department. It's not the sheriff's fire department. It's emergency management. It's not my emergency management. It's the county's emergency management.
Right.
We delegate that. We have to be creative with the tax dollars in this county. And I can tell you this. And I want to give you some numbers. Because I hear it all the time. It's election season. You hear people, they find demons to create that. Easy to lose a vote, hard to get a vote.
Yes, correct.
So you have to prepare yourself to do the debate when they throw things at you because of rumors and speculation. I like to deal in facts.
Right.
We are number 50 by population in the state of Florida out of 67 counties. 50.
Wow.
Equal to us, if you want to do apples to apples, the only 2 counties really comparable to us is Baker County
Right.
and Hardy County. The last time the Florida Association of Counties, not Gordon Smith numbers, not anybody else's numbers, Florida Association of Counties did it for 50 by budget for law enforcement corrections. We're ranked number 57. 57. But we also do code enforcement, mapping, 911, emergency management,
Right.
highway patrol, a lot of those things. You take Baker County, they're ranked number 1 per capita in spending. Same population. Per capita. Hardy County, number 32 per capita. Florida Association of County keeps track of those numbers. So when you want to speculate, or people say, look at his budget, we provide a service. We don't get revenue in. We're not EMS where you bill people and money comes in. We charge for paper. Any dime we collect has to be turned back to the Board of County Commissioners.
Right.
We have to prepare a budget. Anything that we don't spend goes back. Anything we collect from serving papers, we do that has to go back. We do in the jail, anything we raise money there goes to an inmate welfare fund. That inmate welfare fund is used to buy their outfits. It's used to buy their indigent kits when they come to jail. They got to have a toothbrush, which is usually, I think it goes on into your fingers. So they can't make a
Right.
knife. You get a little underarm deodorant, hygiene stuff. You get that. They have to have physical fitness. We buy the basketballs, the footballs. We've created inmate work programs. People say, "Oh my gosh, the sheriff's got these." We have to have inmate work programs. The car wash,
Right.
inmate work program. We have the inmate work programs on teaching proper lawn care, maintenance. You see us doing all that.
Yeah.
We teach that as a program to instill something. So those are things that we have to do. They're incarcerated. They're not animals. We don't keep them in a cage.
Right.
They're going to get out. We have to give something back so we get something back.
Right.
And the taxpayers pay for that stay, so we get something back out of them. Hence picking up trash. Hence, mowing the nonprofits. Those type things. And let me tell you something. I'm proud because we've had hurricanes, tragedy. Those inmates volunteer. We don't make them. They volunteer for these programs. And we get work back at them, returning your buck for what you're paying for to incarcerate, to house them.
Right.
So that's how some of those things come across in what we're doing with your tax dollar. Somebody said, well, can you give that stuff back? Yeah, we could. Is it going to save the taxpayer money?
No.
You want somebody that you can vote for, somebody you can't vote for, somebody appointed. Look across the country right now what we're dealing with.
Right.
Look across the country where you're having problems. Where there's appointed law enforcement heads.
Correct.
You know why? They got no say-so. They're appointed.
Right.
They have to worry about what the mayor or
Right.
their city manager says.
The person above.
They're really a figurehead. I answer to the people. They show up at my office and I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Sheriff, we don't like it. I have to be accountable to the people, not somebody else. That's where you hold me accountable.
Hey, Sheriff, I got some breaking news, guys, right here. 2 crates filled with pipe bombs discovered near the Korean War Memorial in D.C. after suspects spotted it were in the bushes. Federal assets are in pursuit of those 2 suspects or those suspects that they spotted. So we'll see what's going on. Yeah, we'll stay on top of that as well. But going back to the question with Noah, y'all know Mitchell Gunner is our local guru on our show.
Yes,
he's a great co-host, always stays on top of local stuff. I know he's helped you out. You've helped him out. He's helped us out. He said, Sheriff, I will contact the FDOT to see where we are at on State Road 100 and 144th.
He's correct.
He said to see how much longer it will be until we get the warning signals as well as the flashing light for State 100 and 21B.
They've been promising that for a while now.
Yeah, and it needs it.
It does.
Oh.
I want to get to some comments here and some people that are watching. Stephanie Loper's watching. Cindy Norberg says, God loves us all, red, yellow, black, and white. We
Amen.
are precious in
Amen.
his sight. I want to give you a little trivia question.
Uh-oh.
The white race, plus the black race, plus the Spanish race, plus the Mexican race, plus the Indian race equals what?
God's children.
The human race.
Oh, they're all God's children.
Yeah, all God's children, right? That's exactly right. So, but anyway, yeah, somebody told me that today, and I was like, yeah, makes pretty
Well,
good
all
sense.
lives matter.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly right. Noah gives not at this month, but I'm closely monitoring the disturbance that has been named in the Bay. He's talking about the little storm there. Byron Bagwell says, what do you think of Antifa?
They are the modern day Ku Klux Klan.
Somebody right behind him said the KKK.
Let me tell you
And that's
something.
exactly
When
right.
you have to do the things that they're doing, you are nothing more than what we tried to get away from. You know, back during Jim Crow and all those areas.
Mm-hmm.
You can't say any way and interpret that being anything other than a hate organization.
Right.
No different. They're no better. They're in the same class. They're in the same dish to me as a hate group, and that's what they are. They stir up hate. They get paid. They organize to go out because they don't believe in something.
Correct.
That's not what makes America great.
No.
We can all live together and believe differently. My neighbors
Right.
don't believe the same way I do.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? So they're a hate group, and they're in the same class. They're no different than a skinhead, a neo-Nazi.
Right.
Any of those groups that think that your group's better than somebody else, baloney.
I tell you what made me feel good was the peaceful protesters
Yeah, there's a bunch
protesting
of them. You're not
against the
seeing that, though.
agitators.
But you're not seeing that on TV.
No.
It doesn't sell media, y'all.
No. That's
No.
media driven.
There's
Yes,
more
that's
groups
correct.
coming together than there are these few that keep
Yes, that's exactly
Yeah.
right. Antifa, I guess Mitchell Gunner, if you can check this out for us, Michael, he says Antifa has been announced as a terrorist group.
Yes.
Okay, it has. Okay, so
So
there
if you
we
give
go.
money or something, you can be in trouble.
Trouble.
I think right now
Yeah.
there's an issue with a commissioner in the city of Gainesville possibly under investigation right now for their influence with Antifa. So
Donald Stevens, which is Austin's dad, he wants to know, Sheriff, what are police stations being overrun?
you know,
Yeah,
I've never in my career that's the first time I ever heard of it. When you give in this appeasement attitude
Right.
that you give up, let me tell you something. I believe in the old saying: "The captain goes down with the ship."
Right.
They'd have found my body in that sheriff's office
Yeah.
before I leave, because that is a symbol of protection for the community we serve.
Right.
And when you give that up, you've just given a message to those that, hey, we overtook a police station. What is next?
Yeah.
What does the people you're supposed to be protecting think?
Right.
Oh
Exactly.
my gosh, we're not safe. Is
Right.
that the message you want to give to your community? Appeasement does not work.
Right.
Strength by force. We've won many a battle without ever firing a bullet. Strength by force.
Right.
We can't help anybody else in the world until we take care of ourselves.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen, man.
You can call it what you want to.
Golly,
You can
that's
try to twist it. You can try to put it in some perverted way. But unless we can take care of the American people first,
Yep.
Right.
we can't help anybody else. And as Americans, we should be helping everybody.
I agree, man. You couldn't have hit that right on the head. Do you know a guy named Brad Smith?
I know that guy.
Do you?
Double first cousin on my mama, maybe my daddy's side. I'm not sure.
You know, we're twin brothers from different mothers.
There you go.
There we go. So have you been happy with the decision to be in charge of running emergency management?
Absolutely. It was part of what we do every day. Let me tell you, when these other counties, and you look at 14 counties across the state of Florida, the sheriffs have the emergency management. They're a daily part of our function. We answer to the people. We don't have to wait and get polled and get 3 or 4 commissioners to see which decision we want to make. The Board of County Commissioners entrusted with the sheriff as part of our building, as part of our complex. We're always with communication. We were always the first one to get the call,
Right.
and we're the last one to leave the call. We got tied in. People thought that was part of our function anyhow. As we work with the state, I can tell you that since taking over emergency management, there's been 2 times with the governor that's like, okay, we'll be left on the conference with just those sheriffs to have emergency management to make some important decisions that need to be dealt in the law enforcement realm. I think you'll see that phase growing. I've been to 2 other counties and spoke to their Board of County Commissioners, who now the sheriffs have control of that emergency management. One of the best decisions I did, but that was not without the support of the Board of County Commissioners. And we work with them. When there's a situation, our Board of County, and I'm going to say something on behalf of them. Those commissioners have been actively involved. And people don't understand that because they don't see them together.
Right.
The Board of County Commissioners cannot be together in the same room and discussing a topic that may have to be voted on. Could be voted on, possibly voted on. So they have to be very mindful of the sunshine laws in the state of Florida.
Right.
Now, your congressman, your state representative, all those can go in the same room and talk about stuff to vote on. But your commissioners can't. It's a little different the way they got the state laws. But I want to assure the citizens of this community that every step of decisions we've been made, we have not done it without the support and the care and the concern that these commissioners have shown us during this entire time. They on a regular basis, what do we need to be doing? Do we need to do something? It's hard because we can't. It's difficult because we can't put them all together without in a public forum.
Right.
And that the day-to-day decisions need to be made. So they entrusted in the sheriff, me, and my staff, who do most of the work. I'll be honest with you, I'm blessed with a great staff to make those decisions. Lieutenant Shuford, Wendy Russell, Michael Heater, those people that are really doing emergency management are making those decisions. They know my thought process.
Right.
They know my concern. We're going to do what's in the interest of the people.
Right.
To get it done. Now we're a small group, but we have a bigger staff. So when times hunker down, we all get in a room and we need extra help. We got extra administrators there. We need help. We got extra people that can get the day-to-day things done. Brian Johns did a great job. He didn't have the support system in place that we have in place. Great, ethical, good Christian man.
Yeah.
Did a great job. Before him, we had previous ones. They just couldn't get the support like we have there every single day.
Right.
When something happens, we're there. We're ready to take action. And everybody's dual trained, so you can't say that's not my job. We won't have that.
No.
Everybody pitches in to overcome the problem we have at hand.
Right.
And that's what makes us unique.
Sheriff, this show is region-wide. It's nationwide sometimes, and even worldwide. And we have people listening in from everywhere. And I know you've got a lot of fans like we do. Miss Angie Otero there.
Yeah.
She lives in Interlochen.
Really?
Big fan of yours?
Yeah.
Yeah. People that don't even
And
live
in Putnam County.
Yeah, Putnam
Yeah.
County. She says, who controls the budget for each county? Because the taxpayers pay the bill.
They do. Everything. And if we ever forget that, we're in trouble.
Right.
And some counties have forgotten that. I'm going to put that out there.
Right.
With us, we don't have a lot to work with, but the Board of County Commissioners works closely with the clerk. We have to submit our budget, which is budget time now. We're in the budget process.
Right.
COVID's really going to hurt a lot of these county budgets.
Yeah.
And really the meat of any department within our county is people. So you start talking about cutting, you're talking about cutting jobs. We don't know where this thing's leading us. We don't know what the tax base is, how it's going to impact us. Not just us as a small county, but the bigger counties. Putnam County, they're a large county, but they're known as one of the poorest counties in the state that she's talking about. But each budget has to be submitted by June 10th of each year, according to the state law.
Right.
We submit that. That starts the process. We're going to have 2 budget workshops in our county in June, but it's kind of difficult. The state budget runs on a different cycle.
Right.
State budget starts July 1. So it's hard for us to do anything in June. July 1, we'll know more what the state's doing the math. Think about Disney World being closed for 3 months, the tax base. The SeaWorld, a lot of money comes in. Tourism has been down. Think about the impact it's made to the state. So that trickles down to the county where the rubber meets the road.
Yeah.
As I can remember Sheriff Milner always telling us, where the rubber meets the road, we got to get, and working for him for all those years. That's where the reality comes. And she's right. When Angelina is asking, that money comes in, the clerk and the tax collector collects it.
Right.
It gets funneled to the clerk and it goes in. The state mandates certain things. Certain things are locked in. You can't spend it. Like the sheriff's budget is the same way it would be in her county. It comes out of the general fund.
Right.
We don't have revenues.
Right.
So usually in every county, the biggest part of your budget goes to public safety, fire, EMS, law enforcement. That is where the large, when you take that oath of office, when you get elected, is a preservation of life and property. First two things. And I ask you this, Angelina, if you vocal with your commissioners, you always say, I want to see what your priorities are. And I say, well, no, show us your checkbook. If you want to know what the priorities are in my house, open the checkbook.
Right.
Well, now we'll get a debit card list. I'm just going to the old adage. You open up the checkbook of the county, and let's see what your priorities are. Yes, we need these things, but we don't have anything without the preservation of life and property and public safety.
Right.
Education had to be some of your top priorities. That's the reason education has its own budget, its own tax base.
Right.
Our forefathers and people way smarter behind us realized that without education, that's how you get past a lot of things. That's how you get past poverty. That's how you get past racism. Is education.
Right.
Education, but nobody wants to move to your area to bring any tax base to our area if they don't feel safe and they can't bring their family here and get them educated.
Right.
So that should be your priorities in the county.
I agree. Great question, Angelina, by the way. You're listening On the Spot with David Rodgers, a special Tuesday edition. Got a little town hall right here with our very own Bradford County Sheriff Gordon Smith. Invited us into his beautiful home. Thank you for letting us do that. If you are a candidate out there, just want to take this time. If you are a candidate out there that wants to hold a little town hall meeting as well with us, all you got to do is contact us on the spot, 32091@gmail.com. Leave a message. Mr. Michael Heater checks it all the time, so we will be able to get you scheduled. Right now, we have Miss Cat that's going to be with us on June 23rd. We're going to be doing that show from Gainesville,
I bet
Florida.
you're going to get busy. What do you want to bet?
Oh, I bet you it is. You got that right. It will get busy. And again, we have several dates. We got a big-time election coming on. I know we got these things and these crises going on in our very own United States right now. Sheriff, I'll just be honest with you. You're a very optimistic person. I think this is going to get resolved here very shortly. I think people will come back to their senses and their bases. We've got a lot of cleanup to do. We'll have a lot of cleanup, and a lot of businesses are going to need a rebuild in these bigger cities. But we're going to regroup. And then we've got a major election coming up. Not only in November as well.
The first major election is the primary.
There's the primary, August 18th. Tell them, Sheriff, you got
August
that right.
18th, my election's in a primary. August 18th, which is usually a lower turnout. I'm not sure with all this mail ballot stuff going on. It's going to be a little, people that don't want to go to the polls can still call down to Supervisor Election Terry Vaughn and have input, because we've got not only my race, you have the Supervisor of Elections race in the primary to see who goes on to November.
Right.
You have the Democratic race in District 1 over there.
Yes.
That you have 3 Democrats that are in that race.
Three.
And then there's a Republican in that race, so that'll go on to November. You have a county commission race. In District 5. District 5 will have a county commission race. So it goes on to November in that race. My race will be over in August.
Right.
The will of people. I humbly ask for their vote of confidence again.
Sheriff, tell the people who you're running against. I was going to say it, but tell people who you're running against.
I'm running against a gentleman, great family. I'm not going to lie. I really feel that the family is supported. He's a good guy. I have nothing bad to say. He wants to run, and that's what makes America great. So I'll not say anything bad. I've never had to go negative. I don't know anything negative. Not going to. I'm going to run on a record. I'm proud of my record. We're one of the area's leading law enforcement agencies. Agencies turn to us. We've been recognized national. We've been recognized at state level for the things we've done, from emergency management, winning federal, state recognition for some of the stuff we've done there since taking it over. To we've been published from Time Magazine to the National Sheriff's Association being featured.
Live PD.
We've had Live PD here. That's the most recent. Prior to that, we had cops here
yeah.
with undercover stings and those type things. People say, "Oh my gosh, there's some negative to that." I'll be honest with you, we got our squeeze out of that one.
Sure.
They're begging to come back because they're taking some of the old clips and
Right.
doing live PD on patrol because the COVID they
Right.
couldn't go out
Right.
there. We were rated. I don't know how they do all that viewership, but we
Right.
had great viewership. I didn't do it to show anything negative. People, you show it to show because I'm proud of the men and women
That work for you.
that could
And
go
that's
anywhere
us.
else. That could go anywhere else and make more money.
Right.
We don't have a lot of coals in our agency
No.
because these people could leave. A lot of them are here because of the working environment.
Yeah.
You can always leave for more money. We stir things up a little bit. We've had people that leave and want to come back, and I'm pretty much on that. I can tell you that some that have left aren't employed where they used to be employed anymore.
Right.
So maybe kind of thing. We had to fill the school protection deputy thing came open when school safety came open. I can tell you that I'm proud that we received through that a school safety grant
Right.
through Andrew Pollock, whose daughter was killed
Yeah.
down in Broward County. Through that, the Stoneman Douglas school shooting, we hit the radar. He's came out. He supported me in the election, and those type things. We've just received one K9 named Waldo. Got him officially registered today.
That's not the one that's going to be
Definitely-
chasing me, is it? Waldo?
No. Waldo is actually a unique dog. It's for finding guns.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the next dog we've got that's coming in training right now, Malinois,
Yeah.
that is going to bring on to our agency, is trained to do cell phone, those type things, which is neat. I don't know how that
I
works.
don't know how that
I don't
works.
know.
Yeah.
But we also got a school safety grant. Not only we get it, but the school got it. We'll be announcing that here in the near future. That'll tie into our camera systems. So when something goes on at schools, we can watch live time. As it's like you see on CSI or something
Yeah.
on TV.
Right.
Can tie into that. And also that it'll be able to go out mobile to other businesses that want to tie into that. They hit the alarm. It will tune in the cameras into our new comm center, which we just received a $750,000 appropriations last
Yes,
year.
we talked about that.
Last year,
Yes.
it's taken a year process to get there. People say, "Oh my God, COVID, are they going to take it?" And commissioners had a right to worry.
Sure.
But this was last year's appropriations and banked. We did receive another appropriations this year. Not sure where it's going to go for upgrading one of our other local fire departments, $850,000. So, but we're hoping to hold on to that. Keep building. We're still in the building process. We've been over fire for a year, and we're still in that building process, trying to get to where we need to be. But that'll be a decision of the commissioners to see where they want. How much do they want of the fire department? Right now, we're answering 100% of the calls in 10 minutes or less.
Right.
Whereas we came from 20% of the calls, 27% of the calls, I'm sorry, in 25 minutes or less. So we've come. Our county was built on a volunteer-based system. Unfortunately, the state has really dwindled away with that. I didn't know a whole lot of it, but I knew to go out and find those people that did. I'm proud of the progress we've made with the fire department. We've offended some people, and I apologize for that because some of those people are my friends. But there's decisions that have to be made. And being the sheriff is not an easy job.
No, it's not.
When you're campaigning, you can make a lot of promises.
Right.
You can say a lot of things, but when you get in there and you're in the heat of the fire, tough decisions need to be made. But I'm thankful because the Board of County Commissioners have been there with me. It's not been an easy thing. We need to find a way of doing it without overburdening the taxpayer. That we pay enough.
Right.
We pay enough as taxpayers in regards to it. So I'm fortunate. I'm proud of what we have. I'm proud of the services that we offer. We're still one of the lowest crime rate communities in the state of Florida.
Right.
Since taking office, and it was a shocker to me when they did the math, that since I took office, our crime rate is reduced by 57% with Index 1 crimes. And you say, what are those? What are Index 1 crimes? Murder, rape, robbery, auto theft, larceny, those type crimes. We've reduced them by 57%
Wow, that's a big number.
within our community.
Wow.
So that says a lot. In the 12
says
years.
a
Let me throw another number to you, too, as well, since you're in charge of the EOC as well.
Yeah.
1,040 fire calls in 12 months. 100% response and coverage.
Absolutely.
100%. Can you get any better than that?
No.
101.1%?
We'd like to. I'd like to get there faster. I'm not going to lie.
Right.
We had a young force. We tried to hire some battalion chiefs, and they got titles. I'm not sure how all that works. I'm not the fire guy. I'm a manager, and I'm smart enough to understand that I wasn't that guy. So we found some people that are local that was able to fill that spot. When you go in and it was a hodgepodge of different things.
Right.
We owe a big debt of gratitude to the volunteers, by the way.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Big debt.
Yeah.
We can never let that go unnoticed, ever. But we're in a different stage in Putnam County. Look what's going on in Putnam County.
Right.
You look what's going on in Baker County. You look, we're not the only one fighting this battle, and it's just we're having to drive through something, and I'm learning. Made some mistakes, I'll be the first to tell you, but we learn from our mistakes. We back up and punt, and we go forward to make sure that one is we're not worried about ourselves or about the people as a whole, to make sure that we're serving our community.
I tell you what, Sheriff, we're getting a lot of comments on the Knowles and things here, the Gators. Yeah, you got a little back and forth going on. Haley's watching. With Dwight Allen, don't worry about them Gators. We'll deal with them next year. Let's see. Kaylee Watson said hi to you, pretty lady. So that's over to you, Stephanie. But anyway, I've got a question here from Crystal Moore. By the way, Cassidy Udi, I did see what you said. There's going to be a big prayer meeting going on tomorrow over in Gainesville.
Yes.
I do believe at her church. Starts at 6 p.m. Yes. She says anybody can come. They want to worship together. They want to get together. They want to bring the communities together.
Make a difference.
And that's how we make a difference. It starts right there. Like you said, the one that you had this past weekend went over really well.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And I think you're going to see a lot more of these coming as the days and the week comes. And you're going to see a lot more.
There's nothing wrong with that, brother. I feel good. The more the better.
The more the better.
Prayers are welcome.
Yes, they are. All the time. I can use them all the time, for sure. But Crystal Moore said, we need to start working on all these abandoned buildings on 301. It makes our community look poor and unkept and eyesore. Crystal, before the sheriff answers that, Mr. Mitchell Gunner, our local guru, as we call him, he's always involved in all our local aspects of Bradford County and the surrounding towns that we live in. And Mitchell Gunner has brought that up before. He is trying to work on that. So I'm sure Mitchell has got a couple of tasks at hand already, and I know this is one that he'll undertake. But Sheriff, to answer that question, what do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I drove it the other day. I have a dear friend, Mr. Mosley, who made some comment, and I'd left, and I said, just let me count what I could count. And I started at one end of the city limits, and I went all the way out to Walmart, where the Chic is, by the way. Good friend.
Right.
Went out there, and I counted 31. Think about it. 31.
31 buildings.
31 closed businesses.
Closed businesses. Okay.
Closed businesses.
Okay.
31 closed businesses. There's more buildings. Now, thank goodness the old Kentucky Fried Chicken's gone.
Right.
Yes.
The church has bought some of the property there for another church. I hope that that's well. I like to have more churches than I do bars. Not that I have anything against bars. No. Have as many friends like they go to the bar. That's good.
Sure.
That's good. Hey, that's friendship. A lot of people that go there, that's their meditation. I get it. I do. I have a lot of friends, and I have nothing against it, and I think there's a need for it. You start counting the buildings. Think about it now. Start where you're at. From the beginning of start with the church.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Got Dollar General. Got that.
Yeah.
You've had the new Rebels Quick Lube. Williams on
Right.
that. Great place. You go there and you got the Chevrolet. Now start across the room. You got the abandoned old hotel.
Oh,
there.
hotel. Yeah.
Start that. Now you start moving. You got the old Florida Times Union building.
Yeah.
Think about it now. And as you keep moving, you'll find more and more businesses that are closed or closing. The bypass has made an impact.
Yes.
Now I enjoy it. I can leave work and the wife says go by and get something. I can get to Winn-Dixie or Walmart in a matter of minutes. Now.
Minutes. Mm-hmm.
You go out there in that bypass and look and don't think for a minute it hadn't made an impact. Because it has.
Well, I've asked some of our local restaurant owners, the ones that we visit, and it has. You ought to hear some of the percentages of revenue. I know you hear it all the time, of revenue that they have lost because of the
But gas
of the
tax,
bypass.
y'all. Our roads are not the best anyway.
Right.
The county commission, every time they get money, they spend it. I'm going to tell you, they spend money on roads. They really do. And each year they try to figure that budget. I'm afraid of what this year's going to be. Until we can get some of these other new areas that are talking about coming up and running, which is still a 2-year gap. If they open up today, you're not going to collect any tax this year. It's going to be the next year before you start getting the taxes. So it doesn't matter when they build it. You got to look at a year past that before you start getting the revenues of that fuel tax, of that gas tax. So it's going to make a big impact. Sales tax, I'm not sure where it's at yet. A lot of independent businesses contribute largely to this community. The beauticians, the barbers, the tattoo. We got one or two of those shops. We have a lot of those businesses that were closed down When you put all them together, that's a major impact to our community.
Yes, it is. You got that right.
That's going to affect every service from government.
Let me ask you something. We'll just skip this. Y'all care about the Bulldogs? All right, no, I don't either.
Bulldogs.
You don't care. Nah, we don't care about the Bulldogs, do we, Steph?
I heard they weren't playing this year.
No.
No,
I do care about, of course, the Florida State Seminoles are my favorite, but what about the movies, Dave? And Gordon, what do you think? Is that phase 3? Because I am a movie goer.
Me too. I like that too.
Man,
Yeah, I love the movies.
And every time we pass the Florida Twin Theater, one is she misses Mr. Lee.
Yeah.
But she always brings it up. He brings it up. She goes, every time we go past there, can't wait for him to open.
Yeah.
Justin reached out. Justin reached out to me this week. We're hoping to get a decision. Talk to Justin. He get it up and going. That's a part of our community.
Where can you take your family? And I think Stephanie's right. Where can you take your family? Go and enjoy a movie. I bet all y'all can go. All y'all can go watch a movie, and you wouldn't spend $60 in there.
Oh,
I'm telling you. By the time you get into the movie, you get your popcorn and drink. The very first time I went in, I thought I was lost. The very first time when I first moved there, I went in there. He said the movie was like $4 or $5. I was like, what? And then I go in there to get a drink and popcorn. I was like, okay, let me pull out a 20. The girl that was behind the counter, she's graduated years ago now, but she said, "Oh, that'll be $3.50, sir." What?
You thought you missed something?
I missed something. What, did you misread something up, ma'am? Nope, that's the way it is.
And David, I tell Gordon every time I go by there, I miss Lee so.
I do too.
Yeah.
And I talked to
Mr. Lee.
in the community, and they're like, David, Lee was such a kind man, and he just loved our community.
He did.
He loved everybody, and he was such a, I talk to so many people, and they just tell me all these wonderful stories, how much Lee inspired them, and he truly cared about our community, and that's how I feel about my husband as well as Lee.
Yes.
They love our community, and it's
Yeah.
so
I got to tell a quick story about Lee, just really quick.
Yes.
Yeah, but anyway, what she was saying is that Lee Sparks, who unfortunately passed away several months ago now, owned the Florida Twin Theater here, and he's a really iconic figure here in our community. And what Stephanie's saying is he was a loving and kind man, and he would go and above in the community. And I'm going to tell you one little story. Well, I was sitting in line one day, ready to go into movies after I, freaked out about $3.50 popcorn and drink. But this was several years later, and there was some people standing behind me. I had already paid, and it was a family of 4, and there was 2 other kids. I think there was like 6 of them. They didn't have enough to get in the movie. They thought they did. You know what Lee did? Come right on in.
No.
Come right on in. And the guy says, "Are you sure?" He says, "Do I need to pay you back?" You know what Lee said? Nope, not at all. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Come on in and join the movie.
He probably gave them a soda and popcorn
He
too.
did. He gave them, because they came in and they had a tray full of stuff, and that's just the way he was. He had a heart. He has a heart like you, man.
I hope Lee gets even with me in heaven. But I can tell you that I went to Lee when people didn't have nothing. I went when people tried to adopt some dogs one time. People didn't know it. Lee didn't want any recognition. I watched him pull the money out of his pocket.
Yes.
There was a man that got incarcerated. He needed to be incarcerated, but he also needed to be out. Some things are for a reason.
Yeah.
Yes.
And some things are worth it. I get it. I watched him pull the money out and help somebody go to bond the man out. I also know that he paid for months at a time for people to adopt animals. And he paid for the spade and neutering. So we could give free adoptions. He had a heart for animals. Cats. Loved cats.
Yeah, he did love cats, didn't
and
he?
he would do that. And never say a word of it. And would be mad if he was to ever mention it. So he can get mad at me now. I'll deal with him when I get to heaven. But that was the kind of person he was. But he didn't just do it for us. He did it all the time.
Yes, he did.
And Justin's coming up, and Justin's and Justin's doing a good job, and his family, Miss Vicky, and all of them. They're really and they're ready to go. I mean, I can't tell you the number of nights I come home, Steph says, swing by the movie there and get some Coke and popcorn.
Yeah. I forgot who that was. The comments have scrolled so fast, but I believe it was Cindy. I think it was, or maybe I forgot who it was that I just said. Genesee County. You know what I said?
Genesee County.
Genesee County. I guess they got a sheriff there. I guess that's like
that's in Flint, Michigan.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I guess she could. And I forgot what she exactly said. I was trying to get to the to the comment really quick, but I couldn't. But she said she sees you like him. I guess y'all.
He's a great guy. I've worked for the government. We had him back, run for sheriff in his community where he was born and raised, and he's really making a difference there. I read a lot about the guy. He's one of those that's going to be somebody that makes a difference, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Being the sheriff is not a job.
No.
It's not a job. It's when I first went into office, there were 22 newly elected sheriffs that year.
Wow.
The next time I ran, 11 of them done quit, gone, done. They realize it's not a retirement job. You know, to me, it's never been a retirement job. That's the reason I work so hard in getting reelected.
Right.
It's something. If you've retired, you think you want it. It's not a retirement. It's a 24/7.
It's got to be here, doesn't it, Gordon?
It does.
Does it have to be here?
I mean,
You got to love it.
You gotta love it. And some people think it's not. It wasn't what I expected. I thought I knew what it'd be when I got the job.
Right.
I'd been elected police chief twice. I thought, I'll just cross the street. Totally different. Totally different.
Right.
In regards to it, it's got to be about people.
Yep.
Sometimes at the peril of my family. My wife can tell you that I've had to leave birthday parties, weddings.
Sure.
People have problems. It becomes your problem.
Right.
Yeah.
It does.
And it don't matter if it's their bicycle stolen or somebody's car. And sometimes the bicycle is more important than the car.
Right.
Because the bicycle may be their only means of transportation. The person with the car don't get insurance, get it paid for, get it reimbursed. The person with the bicycle, that may be all they have. So you got to understand, when it's a problem, then it's got to become your problem.
Right.
If you shun that, you shouldn't be the sheriff.
I
You
agree.
really shouldn't. It's got to be about people. And here's the thing. I've watched 3 former sheriffs that are still alive that live in this county.
Mm-hmm.
I watched them still do the same thing when they were elected. They still speak to people. They still go around. They still care. They still are concerned. I get to eat breakfast several times with Dolph Rich. I run into Mr. Milner, spoke with him today.
I was just going to say, Mr. Milner's worried about my hair, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
so-
those people still care what goes on in their community. You
Right.
can't just walk away from it.
That's right.
You know, it's not like other jobs. It's like being a teacher. You can't just walk away from it. Those are your kids.
Right.
When I go somewhere, I speak to the county as my family. And the community, regardless of where you're at in this community, whatever your religion is, your faith, your color, it doesn't matter. You're still my family.
Right.
And when it affects you, if it doesn't affect me, you should vote me out. Because I'm going to tell you something. I've learned one thing about being a sheriff. It's kind of a whole lot like being a father. Having kids.
Yep.
You know, when you lay your head down that pillow at night and you ask yourself, it's about the decisions you make. Are they right or are they wrong?
Wow.
Are those choices benefiting the community that you serve? It's just like being a dad.
Of course.
When you worry about your kids, when they haven't come home yet, when that phone rings in the middle of the night, when I have people that come to me in embarrassing situations, and it's as embarrassing to me that they have to come to me because we care.
Right.
And we don't want them to feel that way. Sometimes the only answer I have is prayer. Sometimes I can help. And when I can, I do.
Right.
Sometimes, but when it's like being a father, if you don't take it like being a father, you shouldn't be that sheriff. Because at the end of the day, I love my family and I love my community.
Amen.
And I'm never going to let anything come between that. And when I'm done being the sheriff, it's still going to feel the same way that I see my 3 former predecessors doing, that call regularly to try to still help somebody else out.
Right.
They're not even the sheriff anymore. They call,
Mm-hmm.
whether it be their church member, because all 3 of them still regularly attend church, or it be their neighbor. They pick up that phone because they're still the sheriff. Once the sheriff, always the sheriff. And they're still trying to help. I want that to be me.
And you know what, Gordon, you bring up a good point on that particular deal there. We know all these gentlemen that you're talking about. And first and foremost, I want to say, we all know you here. I know Michael Heater works for you here, but I've known you for a long time. I've known your family. I know your extended family. And one thing I do know, what you said there with those words are very true. I can back that up 100%. This guy's got a loving heart. Always has, always will. Every time I've called, he's been able to try to help me out. And when any of us call, no matter what it is, you take the time and you go, hey, like I said, maybe prayer. It may be something that you can do for me. Maybe something you can do for somebody else. Whatever the case may be, you take the time to do that. And your predecessors, are still involved in the community. They are still serving.
Sheriff, me and I were just passing out food. I mean,
Food
they
pantry
still.
with the
You talk to
yes.
Bob Reddish, and I talked to him
Yes.
in the morning. He's trying to help a neighbor out. You talk
Right.
to Kenneth Etheridge, he's calling on the phone. Sheriff, this is what we. Yes,
Right.
sir. Those are the type of things that you never forget where you come from.
I don't think it ever leaves you because these guys again are still serving their
And I'm
community.
blessed. I got brothers the same way. I mean,
Yep.
we grew up with a mother that was a bus driver for 40 years. You
Right.
know,
Wow.
she raised 4 kids. We didn't have a father figure in the scene all the time.
Right.
Those kind of things that our mother instilled. She was our mom and our daddy didn't. Thank God, but we had she had a big family. And to my grandparents, my dad's parents, my granny and my grandma, who took us, and when I was being rebellious, and I'd go live with my grandparents, I was, we act out. But you know what? When you grow up hard with good God-fearing family that talks to you about community, talks about helping your fellow man, we never had nothing. But I remember this, and this stuck with me most. And my brothers and I, we'd fight like cats and dogs. But if you told somebody something, my mom said, the most important thing you have in your life is your word.
Yeah, the word is your bond, right?
And if you can't stick to your words, you have nothing. So every day you got to remember that. I've never had much money. I've worked for what I got. And so have my brothers, and my brothers and I, we communicate regularly. We're close. I'm fortunate. What bothers me is I got a half brother that I'm going to Ohio, that worthless nut place.
Oh, that
Buckeye.
Yeah, Buckeye. Yeah, the worthless nut.
But the youngest
Buckeye
one,
State.
That's your state, Dave.
He's getting married 10 days for the election. I said, you can't change your wedding. Come on, man. So I got to fly into Cleveland to go to a wedding. I said, man, you're right in the most important time. But you do what it is for family,
You do,
But let me tell you, Bradford County is my family.
Right.
And the day that I pray that I never forget that. And it is
You
the
won't.
taxpayers that pay our salary.
Yes, it is.
We got to be fortunate. It's a great, prestigious job, and I want to make no less of that. Well, there's only 67 in the state of Florida,
Right.
and there's a lot of people that try for it,
Yes.
and there's a lot of good men that run for it. I'm blessed. I have a good man that's an opponent. I have nothing bad. Comes from a good family.
Right.
He's blessed with good mom and dad and got good brothers.
Yes.
Graduated with one of them. Know them all. Nothing negative to say.
Right.
And I won't.
No.
I've had people want to come and get out of here. Man, at the end of the day, we're still going to hug each other's neck and get
That's
done.
right.
I've got people that are supporting me, contributing to my campaign, that have went against me in elections before. Politics can be a blood sport.
Yes, it can.
And we play to win or don't play. I get it. You know me, I'm very competitive when it comes to sports.
Yeah.
Love my Tornadoes, love my Gators.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, do it the honest way, do it the fair way. You have people that try to buy in. I'm sure he gets people that try to push buttons, just like I get people trying to push buttons for their own agenda.
Right.
I get it. And my family takes a lot of beating for the things that I do. They get blamed
Right.
for decisions I make. But at the end of the day, that person that calls me dealt with a lady just today. She has beat me up on social media. She has trolled us on social media for the sheriff's office. But you know what? I still went to her house today when that call came out because she was in need. And she was in the right.
Right.
And she needed that service. I don't ask whether you like me or not when you get called there.
No.
I don't ask what party you're from. I'm to serve everybody, even when you don't agree with me.
That's right.
You know why I do that?
Because first of all, you got a heart. You love everybody here, but you took the oath. You took that oath to
It's
do
to
that.
serve, not help.
That's-
See,
that's
you help
correct.
people that makes you feel good.
Right.
Serving people even when it doesn't feel good.
Right.
And at the end of the day, the community, the people of those communities have the right to vote and elect who they want to serve them. Look across America. It's appointed people who are having problems.
That's correct.
It's not where the elected sheriffs are at. We may have them, but we resolve them.
Want to just get to some quick comments as we can you believe we've gone an hour and 45 minutes already?
And we're just getting started.
We're just getting started. You
Oh,
got
we
that
just-
right.
this
Look
is
at
home.
him.
We're
This
at
is
the
home.
house.
We're at the house right
Daddy's
here.
got food ordered for us.
Oh
man.
yeah,
Good.
it's all good right here. But anyway, want to welcome you on the spot with David Rodgers. Special edition tonight. Little town hall meeting with our very own sheriff, Mr. Gordon Smith. Right along here to my left, our producer, Super Dave Daredevil, right? Daredevil. I can say that 4 times.
It's easy for you to say.
Yeah, easy for you to say. Dave Holland.
Oh, he's
owner
from
of Harry.
He can't.
Worthless
He
Nuts.
can't.
Yeah.
He owns the Harry business here in town. He's our producer. works for the sheriff right back here, our very own director, Mr. Michael Heater. Say hello, Michael.
Hello, Michael.
Again,
and he works with the sheriff. We don't work for anybody.
that's right.
It's a team
He
effort.
works with the sheriff. That's exactly right. But you work with On the Spot too, don't you?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Anyway, I want to get to some of our comments here real quick. Sheriff, again, thank you for inviting us into your lovely home. Right here, we got the beautiful TV back here, got the flag up here. We've had a great show so far.
You like my decoration, my good home interior decoration?
I do. The only thing I didn't like was that cup. But anyway, we can talk about that later. Anyway, Tammy Testone says, Alvy, we got to say hello to Alvy. Alvy loves us on the spot. Yeah, absolutely. Cindy Norberg said they love and appreciate you, man. They really do.
That's my
They
Laudy
appreciate
family.
it.
You know, that's
Yes.
between Griffiths Loop and Laudy. I lived my entire life. I always tell people this, and Cindy would know. Her family, my family, they're just good, hardworking people.
Yeah.
That's what Bradford County really is.
Right.
You know, so you can say what you want to about us, but you come here, we'll fight and stand up for it.
Right.
God-fearing Americans. But, you know, I've been as far north as Laudy. I've been as far south as Waldo. I've seen most of the world, or at least the important parts.
Right.
That's what involves me in my life. My wife gets mad because I go somewhere. I can't wait to get back home.
Right.
This is my town. These are my
Right.
people.
Right.
And nobody's going to love it more than me at the end of the day. And that's what I try to instill in my grandkids. I get mad when people I grew up with send their kids to play ball somewhere else or they leave. But I've been here long enough to watch those people that have left and come back home. You know why they come back home?
Hey.
Because it's the best place. And I'm going to tell you like my granny told me, you can't get to heaven without a stop through Laudy.
That's right.
Heaven, Laudy is a stop along the way to heaven. So, and she didn't tell a lie, I'm sure.
No, she didn't. And let me tell you, you've heard of the Quad City DJs before, right?
Oh, yeah.
Come on, ride that train.
Yeah.
Well, do you know where the Quad Cities are? I can tell you the Quad Cities. Lottie, Stark, Brooker, and Hampton.
Amen.
Hey, there you go, right? The Quad
Amen.
Cities, right, Chris?
That's it.
That's the Quad Cities.
That's the most important.
That's the most important thing right there. I'll
You got
tell you that right now. Say hello to Roger the Tornado Cruz. He's watching.
Roger Dodger. Don't bet football with that guy. He wins every time.
Yes, he does.
He's got a horseshoe somewhere. I'm telling you, because that guy can pick football.
Let me tell you what. I was flipping quarters with him one day, just for the
He
heck
got
of
you
it.
loaded.
Huh. I was like, after $1 worth of quarters, I said, I ain't play with you no more.
Roger,
I don't know.
cheap.
Yeah, I think he does. I think he had a two-sided coin. Crystal Bullet says, hello, everyone. Nancy Roberts is watching. Joy Fennell from Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Says, preach it, Sheriff.
You know what? Good guy out there. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Good people.
Yep. Archie Waters says, crime don't happen here because we have a great sheriff that listens and cares about his community.
Archie, we may get some crime, but I can tell you this. We're going to try to solve all of them.
Yeah.
That's the reason our crime solvability rate, I bragged on crime rate being 57%. Do you know our crime solvability rate? You can have it. What's your solvability?
Right.
We recovered over $500,000 in stolen property last year, and our solvability rate's 3 times the state average.
Wow.
Wow.
Like it.
That's not because of me. That's because of those investigators and detectives.
Yes,
Deputies
sir.
doing their job on scene, detectives getting a case and trailing it out to the end. The kudos goes to the men and women that work.
Right.
I'm the political head. Y'all know me. I'm a socializer. I'm a talker. I'm a numbers
We'll never
guy.
guess that about you.
I like numbers, so they know me. I'm always, if I go in the morning, I say, oh, here comes the sheriff.
Oh, here comes the
I'm looking to
sheriff.
see what happened the night before. You know, we might not solve it all. We can dang sure try to solve it all. We can dang sure try.
Yeah.
You know, that's the whole key.
Yeah.
Barton's watching. You know Alan Parrish?
I know Alan Parrish well.
I work with his son.
One of the best EMT directors. I put him up against anybody in the
Yep.
state.
Alan, I know your son, by the way. I work with your son over at New Millennium over there.
Oh,
Brandon.
he works.
Yeah.
You do what?
Huh?
He works and you do what?
I just sit around.
Yeah.
But anyway, Angelina Otero from Interlochen says
Yeah.
she loves you, Sheriff. She loves the
Okay,
human race too.
and she's got a good sheriff. Gator Deloach is a good guy.
Yeah.
He's still new at it, but he's getting
Yeah.
there. And Gator's I don't want to fight him. He's a big old boy. But I ain't scared. I mean, I don't want to fight,
You
but I ain't
don't-
scared to
but you
bleed.
ain't scared.
I ain't scared to bleed.
I ain't
but
never
don't
heard
wanna
them Smith boys being scared of anything. All right.
fight. You know,
Yeah. Anyway, maybe
maybe a wife or something.
yeah, maybe a pizza.
Maybe.
What you trying to say?
No, I ain't trying to say anything. I got one too. The people that bled red. Okay, we have to realize we are one. Crystal Bullock says. What you been preaching?
Crystal is
Yeah.
nailed it. I go back to there's no one person more important than another, and when you try to say that one nationality, one race, one religion is more important than another, you're racist yourself.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
Your own personal bias.
I want to ask Chris something really quick because I see this and we haven't gotten to this, or we haven't heard this saying in a while, Sheriff. And I know you like to say it. Sheriff Gordon Smith, our family is strong as Bradford strong.
Amen. You know I love that.
That's a great saying. Chris, I know we use that at the high school, and I know it's sort of, I think, don't quote me if I'm wrong here, I think it sort of originated from there. And wasn't Shelley and some of those people involved with that name? Absolutely. And she would never take credit for anything. She's probably going to be mad that I put her out there.
Yeah,
but I think, I definitely am in trouble. But I think it was several years ago it was put out, and I think with the Boston thing, wasn't it?
Yes.
And then it came in through. So, and that name has really stuck throughout.
Do you know why America's great?
Yeah,
because of our diversity.
Mm-hmm.
Because of our original Constitution, Bill of Rights.
Yes.
It wasn't perfect.
No.
But because of the way it was written, our forefathers were smart enough, hard-working, laboring, working men.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not scholars.
Right.
That were forefathers that looked into a vision far enough that says, you know what, because of this, because of protest.
Right.
Not riots.
Right.
Because of intelligent men, we've changed laws to give voting rights, women rights, civil rights acts. We got a long way to go, but we've come a long way.
Right.
Yeah.
If you think it hadn't changed, just because change had to happen in your heart. So as we look forward to that, I see better things coming. We've been through a crisis.
Wow.
The COVID, we're dealing with this now.
Right.
We're in hurricane season.
Mm-hmm.
We're Bradford strong, but we're also, as Americans, because we're Americans.
Right.
Those that come here and we wrap our arms around, they may not get it now, but as they grow wiser, they're influenced more by their neighbors through our educational systems, we will overcome any obstacle in front of us.
Amen. I agree. Cindy says that's right. You can never get that Bradford County sand out of your shoes.
That's a fact. You know, and Bradford County sand's a little different than most places.
Yes, it is.
You know, it's a little different. You know, it ain't like the beach sand. I promise you.
Yeah.
This is good growing sand, right? You can grow stuff in this.
Yeah, you can.
You ain't grow nothing in that beach sand.
Hey, you talked about our strawberries before. You remember on the show before?
Sweetest
Strawberries this side of heaven.
Plant City
Yeah,
may
Plant
grow
City.
more now,
Yeah.
but they're no better.
No way.
There's something
Y'all
about
agree?
soil.
Y'all agree?
Absolutely.
Sweetest strawberries are right here, ain't they?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
the soil, man. It's that sand that's mixed in with the dark soil. I'm telling them Crawfords have grown everything in the world.
Yes,
I
they
can tell
are,
you.
yeah.
They know out there. She grew up growing. She knows.
Yep, she knows. You got that right. Michael, I seen you had put up something about the bowling alley. Charles McKinney said, Sheriff, we need another bowling alley.
We do. I remember the old bowling leagues.
Mm-hmm.
That was some fun nights. We had the church leagues, and then we got one between. You know, back then softball was big, and the Green Machine and Harry Hatcher and all that.
yeah,
The Green
yeah.
Machine coming up, and when you was out, y'all right now I'm going crazy. Can't watch news; it'll ruin you. You know, all the constants. I'm so used to watching sports, and I've been watching. When you watch a football game that you know the outcome 3 or 4 times,
Right.
I still like watching this beat up on certain teams, so I'll watch it 3 or 4 times.
What are
It's
you
like, a
trying
good
to say,
John,
Sheriff?
it's like a good John Wayne movie.
You wouldn't bring up that 96 championship, would you?
There's nothing wrong with that. It's a good thing to go back and rewind. There's a few plays I might have forgot. Like a John Wayne movie. You ever watch old good John
There's
Wayne?
a few plays. There's a lot of plays I'd like to forget in next.
But sports has not been there for us sports junkies. You know, it's kind of been a tough time for us.
Yes.
Hopefully we get open back up. We're learning. That's the reason it's important to get tested.
Right.
It's important. The different tests that are coming out. It doesn't take long. It's free. Get down there and get tested. No, find out.
Find out.
And you know, we're a great country. We're still the greatest country in the world. And I'm telling you, watch how fast we're moving through these cycles.
Yep.
It's a changing basis. You got the naysayers, and you got the ones that have put politics in play.
Right.
Quit worrying about all the politics and worry about each other.
Right.
Talk
Amen.
your neighbor into it. Whether you agree or not, go see that old neighbor you hadn't gotten along with in a while over a fence line or something. You know, and say,
Right.
"Oh, can I help you? Can I go to the store and get you something?"
Right.
I had a man just the other day pulled up right in front of my yard. I was mowing grass. He waved me down. He said, "Sheriff, I'm going to Walgreens." This man ain't. We hadn't really spoken to each other for a long time for something happened way long ago. And I was kind of cautious. Yeah, what? He said, "I know you're hot and sweaty." He said, I just need, if you need anything, I'm going that way. Can I get you something?" I said, "No, but I appreciate it." I remember, man, I was in a high spirit for the next 30, 40 minutes on the lawn. I just got a little pep in my step to know that he spoke to me. You know?
You're right.
There was some stuff in the past that really didn't, I can't even remember what it's about, but it's, you just go, ugh. roughing
Right.
each other. But that's what being neighbors is all about.
And I'm getting to all your comments, ladies and gentlemen. I promise I'll try to scroll through them as fast as I can here and answer everything that we can. Again, welcome on the spot with David Rodgers, Tuesday special edition town hall meeting here with Gordon Smith, our very own Bradford County Sheriff. Got the crew here with us tonight. Unfortunately, my co-host couldn't be with me tonight. Want to give a shout out to Byron Bagwell and Mitchell Gunner.
Mitchell. Both of them are missing them. Where they at?
Yeah, they are.
We're going to eat all this food by ourselves.
Well, I guess so. But anyway, Mitchell is doing a couple of things. So is Byron. Byron's probably working. But anyway, we'll have them back on the show on Saturday as well. I do want to say one thing. We were talking about all these riots and everything that's going on right now. And I know it's a nation in turmoil. I do believe we're going to get through this just like we were getting through the COVID-19 situation as you spoke about. I've seen a video. I don't know if y'all seen it. Did y'all see the video about the 80-year-old disabled lady? Black lady that lives in Minneapolis in that neighborhood that was burned down. Did y'all see that? This lady came on, I forgot which show it was, Mike. Was it one of the news channels? Was it Fox or one of them? Anyway, she came on. And this poor lady was pleading with these rioters to please stop looting, please stop rioting, because now this poor lady, she has hardly nobody to turn to. She doesn't know where she's going to go get her groceries. She doesn't know when she's going to go get her prescriptions. She doesn't know anything right now. It's still chaos up there quite a little bit, at least settling down some. But that I did cry. I ain't gonna lie to you. I cried. There was tears in my eyes. I want to help. I'd love to help. But what do we do? You know what I'm saying?
Now they can't go around the corner to the drugstore. They can't go get their medications. They're going to drive across town. They got to find transportation. Yeah. They've just added to the burden of the people that live in that community. Yeah,
that story just hit me really hard. And if something like that don't hit you, you don't have a heart. You know what I mean? To me, you don't have it. If something like that. And like you said, Sheriff, I hope some of these people that are doing all this come back in a year or 2 years from now and go, what in the heck did I just do here? Yeah. You know what I mean?
And I think most of them, because they're human, but you get caught up in that mob mentality sometimes. Yeah. We've been with friends and get involved and go, I probably should have left that alone. I truly think you'll see it. Now, there's some that are being paid, and there's some evil people that are behind it because there's profit behind it.
Yes, there is.
And it's political agendas. And that's been since the founding of our country.
That's right.
Yeah, so we got to, and if you understand that, and let me tell you, I give kudos to the leaders of that community who have stood up amongst their peers, stood up and faced them and said, "This is wrong." Those are the people that are the brave people,
right?
Those are the brave men and women who now we're seeing. The media doesn't show enough of that. They don't show that the majority of the communities across this country are coming together.
That's correct.
If you don't want to
pray vigil, Gordon, because it don't sell.
It doesn't sell. So
it doesn't sell.
We see it in small blogs and stuff.
Right.
But all we see
they tease you with it.
They tease you, but then they show you all these, and they'll spend hours and hours of that. Right. But they won't take 5 minutes to show you the people that are coming together.
Right.
That's the media, and
negative media sells. Always has, always will.
And media can make you or break you. And that goes, and that was said a long time ago with a man of color.
Yeah.
So they can make you hero or zero.
Zeros. You got that right.
Make a country or break a country.
And Archie was talking about the bowling alley. Charles McKinney said we do need to know the bowling alley, but I think what Archie was saying was, could we put a store there? Right? Isn't that what he was saying?
Drive-in movie theater, I think.
The drive-in movie theater is going to be closer to Fun Point, right, Mike?
That's what they're
saying.
Yes.
So Archie says the old bowling alley would be a perfect spot for a grocery store because I live in front of there and it's hard for me and a lot of people to go up to Winn-Dixie a lot of times. And the only store that we have close is a dollar store. Mm-hmm. Dollar store is great, but you can't get everything that you can out of Winn-Dixie or like a regular grocery store, fresh meats and stuff like that.
It is, and that goes back to a lot of these places that had the mom and pops. Think about when Roy's is going in Bradford. Where's the mom and pop left? Roy Jackson Meats, is the last really in this community of our mom and pops.
Yeah.
Think about it now. So those are the type of things that you see that got destroyed in other cities where people can go and get that or like Archie that may not. It's
right.
When you go back and don't understand the needs of our community, when 78 to 80% of our school kids get free or reduced lunch.
Right.
we're an economically challenged county
Yes.
in a community, and still got to provide the same services every other big county around us, as we're surrounded. You know, when you see people, when you go up there and you hand out the people that you care about having to come through the food pantry. You know, I don't forget where I come from. I remember getting steak cheese and powdered milk, the worst thing you ever put in your mouth. Trying to eat cereal with that.
What did Billy say about that cheese? Y'all had to take a hatchet or something to get that.
I wish you could still get it, because that was some of the best cheese. I made real macaroni and cheese. You know, my mama had to live on, so I get it.
Right.
So I go back to repay what people have done for me. It was a hand up. Our government's not meant to be a handout. It's supposed to be meant to be a hand up. And as Americans, as God-fearing citizens, not just God-fearing, but as human beings, I don't care how dang mean you are.
Right.
You can still be human and help you out.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Steph.
Some of the best memories I ever had was going with my granny and papa. You know, they were just hard-working, good American citizens.
Come on over here and show your pretty face for a minute. Come on over here. Come on over here. Bring your pretty face over here. Come on.
You know, when Gordon's mentioned that, it just makes me want to cry. Just some of the best memories I ever had was my grandparents. They didn't have a lot of money at all, but you know what? Some of the best days of my life was going with them to get their cheese,
Sure.
commodities and stuff that the people that weren't as fortunate as others got. And my granny would go home and make macaroni and cheese, y'all, with that cheese. That was the best.
But you know,
best
Stephanie.
macaroni and cheese, the best memories I've
But you
ever
know what
had.
you had? But you know what you had that maybe a lot of families don't? You had love in your family.
Yeah.
You had love in your family.
I did.
And I tell you, it doesn't matter. Hey, you can have cheese from Italy or cheese from, like you were saying, that you got to chop with a hatchet. At the end of the day, your mama can spin that cheese and make the best macaroni in the world, or your granny. And guess what? The Italians can too. And at the end of the day, it's no different. But you know what? Maybe that Italian family didn't have the love that your family had. And that's where all that love
Makes
comes
a
from.
difference.
Sometimes
People
it does
can
make
take-
a difference.
And you know, people can take a lot away from it, but you know what they can't take away? Is those good, sweet memories. Memories.
Can't,
sometimes
never.
they're all-
Right.
You don't have anything else with someone. You always have those wonderful memories to fall back on. when
You
you're
got it.
young.
So it's, you know, it's and we live in a great communities where you see people helping, you know, and you know, when you see, well, like Crystal Bullock, will there be another prayer gathering in town? I see that question.
Yes.
Yes, they're trying to get another one.
Great.
Sunday was just spontaneous.
Yes, it was. It was,
It's
yeah.
just spontaneous to 60 people. We need a lot more of that. We could do it every day. It would be nice.
I want to think, did Teresina Kittles put that together? Or
It
she was one of them,
Well,
right?
it was. You had her. You had Miss Jackson, Roy Jackson's daughter-in-law.
Yeah.
Karen.
Karen.
It was spontaneous. Somebody sent it to me, and I'm gonna tell you, that was probably the best because it was spontaneous. You had people there that did it, but I hope our community can do it every day, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
You know, when we work through this, and it's election season, so you're getting a lot of, you know, take that away from it.
Right.
You take the politics out of it.
Yes.
That's the reason I was careful the last one to make sure that I didn't speak too much. I don't want people to think that I was trying to take advantage of any of that kind of stuff. So you got to be mindful, you know,
Right.
in regards to it. But at the end of the day, we live in a great community.
Yes, we do.
We have people that care, and if you find somebody that don't have love in their family, invite them into your family. You know,
Yeah.
my mama fed the neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
buddy of mine, Chuck Morey, said, you know, I remember my mom talking about Chuck's mama calling her and saying, my son says you cook in these big pots. They were bus drivers together. Mom said, well, I do cook in big pots. We always had us in the neighborhood kids, you know, it was rice and beans
Right.
one night and beans and rice the next. But that's the way we show care and compassion.
Yeah.
And that's where when you can give back, you know, pay it forward. You know,
I like
you
that
don't
term
have
because
much,
that's the term I love to use, pay it forward.
you know, you're going to get tenfold return.
Oh, absolutely. Let's get through some of the comments here, Sheriff. Lottie's a little piece of heaven, Gordon. Absolutely. My mama called it Bradford County mud. However you want to spin it.
That's it.
That's it.
Hey, it's nothing better between your toes, I promise.
There you go. Charles' mom was accurate. My mud is called the Hampton Swamp Mud.
Oh, Hampton does got some swamp.
Yeah,
mud.
it does, don't it? That's Noah Gibson that said that, by the way.
Noah's got the little chunk of coal down there in Hampton.
Yeah.
It's going to be the diamond. I mean, because let me tell you, as this county grows, you look at Hampton and Lawton.
Yes.
This bypass.
Yes.
Hampton and Lawton's going to see some. I don't think they realize it yet, but those are great communities.
Yes.
And
I live in Lawdy, so I think
Let me
it's
tell you,
great.
the kids that went
Right
to
around the
Hampton
corner from
School,
the
they'll tell you, going to Hampton School or Brooker or Lawdy was like going to
Right.
private schools.
Right.
That these people that live in the big cities and send their kids, those are the kind of schools they really want them to go to.
Right.
They kind of got that special. Lawdy got special treatment. Hampton got special treatment.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
You know, in Brooker, they really, those are great, and those schools are the heart of their community. You know, you look what happened to Waldo when they closed the school. Look
Right.
what happened in Waldo, closed business, everything.
Yeah.
It's a piece of the community.
Yes, it is.
And I know, you know, those are things we got to fight for in the future. And I know the state puts a lot of burden on not just the school officials, but us. They try to control what you can do with your dollars, and
Right.
and I get it, and accountability, but we don't want to take the face of those communities away.
Right. I got a real Archie back here. Whoa, Archie, hang on a minute. It said Gordon for president. Well, we got to get him. We got to get him as a sheriff again.
Yeah.
If that's how it's going to go, then maybe he'll want to run for Congress one day. I don't know. And maybe that's something. Then maybe you can talk the presidency. I would love to be around if that's what you decided to do.
Hey,
I hope I'd be around anyway.
Hey, my hypocrisy can only go so far.
I
You
would
know
do-
why it's government say, you know, presidency. You know, you got to be well refined at being able to that. Hey, I'll leave it to people smarter than me or better at it than me. But I'm gonna tell you, it's really a tough time in our country.
Yeah.
And we all need to reunite, regardless of who your choice is for that. If the people voted me out today, the people of Bradford County have been good to me. They've been good to my family.
Yeah.
For 34 years, I've raised my family right here.
Right.
And that's because the citizens of this community have been good to me. And I expect to be better in return.
Right.
And they've invested well in me. And I ask, you know, and I humbly ask for to keep investing in me, because nobody's going to love it more than me.
Right. Amen. All right. Miss Crawford said, Cindy Crawford Norberg said, Rod A. Crawford has the best strawberries.
Big Rob.
Noah says, I can't say which strawberries is good, but I do eat them, whether they are Plant City or Start. Noah, no, there's a difference. I'm going to tell you, guys, you agree, there's a difference.
There's a big difference.
I've tasted Plant City. Don't get me wrong, they're good. They ain't as sweet as the ones up here.
It's the soul they grow in.
It's the soul.
Yeah.
They can't have the same type of soul we got. It just brings sweetness out. You don't have to pour no sugar on these berries.
Right.
Big fat ones, too.
Oh.
Angelina Otero's still on. She says, too many cases in Putnam County have been swept under the rug. My brother's attempted murder will not. My sister and I are professionals. We're voters and taxpayers, and my brother's case will not be ignored. You know the case we're talking about?
I don't.
The hit and run case over there that happened over there several weeks ago. We reported it on the spot.
Oh, really?
This young lady, this lady's
Is
nephew.
FHP working? Is FHP working on it? Who's
FHP is working that, and
You got to stay active. Remember, let me tell you something. It goes no different than with crime. We get busy, and a lot of times it's not intentional that something lays there because the next priority comes.
yeah,
You're involved in one case, and another case comes, and another. So sometimes, if you don't stay vocal, I don't get offended by that.
right,
I tell people, call me. I got a good memory. It's just short. Okay,
Right.
so you got. I said, oh, Sheriff, did you remind me? Oh yeah.
yeah,
And then you can get on it. It's not intentional.
right,
And sometimes in those cases, officers get frustrated in their mode in tracking it down, and you've got to stay behind them to give them that gas.
right,
And if the officer gets offended by that, you need to start calling supervisors and call somebody up the food chain and say, we're not relinquishing until we. You want to know that they have done everything they possibly can. Hit and runs are tough.
yeah.
To this day, there's still a little girl. I still remember the folded pieces of paper on the road. On a rainy night, I'd left the county, being the investigator, and took over as the assistant chief for the city of Stark, and I didn't even make it to work the first day before I got called out. Chief Johnson was there on 100. That's never been resolved to this day. In a pouring down rain, we had no way to collect evidence. It was running down the gutters. You know, the little pieces. I can remember the little piece of folded paper that was in that youngin's hand. It sticks with me.
Man.
So they're tough, and you don't forget it. Like I say, I can't remember what she looked like, but I can remember that folded piece of paper and that note.
You
That
know,
was
Sheriff,
soaking
you
wet.
were talking about your word is your bond. You know, us on the show the same way. I think y'all all know us now. You know everybody
Yeah.
that's on the show. We try to be, and we hope we come across, and we hope you believe that we're men of integrity, because we are. And this young lady reached out to me. I do believe it's Miss Otero's niece. Her name is Kayla Gordon, and asked us if we would talk about this hit and run.
You got to keep it. You got to keep it out.
Got to keep it fresh, and we will. Saturday night, Miss Otero, I promise you, I will bring that up again, and we will stay on top of it. Again, if you have any information that you can help us with, that would be great. You can share it on the spot. Give the email again, Mike. For that.
Absolutely. Anybody who has any information about this particular crime or any crime involving traffic homicide, you can contact the Florida Highway Patrol at star FHP. That's star 347 on your cell phone. The Putnam County Sheriff's Office is 1-800-426-9975. Any crimes or any activities going on in Bradford County, you'd like to report it, by all means, 24 hours a day, 904-966-6161. And, of course, if you have information you'd like to pass along to the show here that we can give to our sheriff, or anything involving that you would like to know more about, email us on the spot 32091 at gmail.com. That's on the spot 32091 at gmail.com.
Well done, Michael. I really appreciate that. And I promised this young lady that we would keep this story to the forefront. The whole family.
And it takes that. Some people give up, and I've seen it over the years. If you don't give up, there's that one person out there that somebody's going to confide in and hear your emotional plea.
Yeah.
And we've solved more cases through an emotional plea years later. Sometimes,
yes,
it just they something in their heart comes to them. I've had them tell on themselves. I've had them tell on their parents. I've had them tell on their siblings because they finally had enough and had to do the right thing to get it off that burden off of them. So never give up.
And I promise you, ma'am, that we will not. As long as you keep wanting us to present the story and keep giving us updates, I promise you, on the spot with David Rodgers' crew, all of us will keep doing that for you. I promise you. Lottie's strawberries, they said, are excellent. Byron Bagwell just told them themselves, working on a line in my lake right now. Really? Where are you at? I thought you were supposed to be here.
Yeah. Come on, man. You're missing.
Yeah, working on a line.
Yeah.
Actually, Mr. Bagwell worked a little bit late. He thought he was going to be late getting here, so I'll forgive him on this one, Sheriff.
I'll catch up with you.
Yeah, we'll catch.
I will never get supper again for him. He had his one chance and he missed out.
You missed out on supper, Mr. Bagwell and Mr. Gunner.
That's right.
You missed out on supper. Stacey Aldridge says, have you heard any intel on people looking through social media for addresses of LEOs and military personnel and families? I don't want to stir up rumors, but I've seen it twice.
Well, I'm glad you asked. That's been going on for quite some time. We know that military personnel are trained, law enforcement personnel. Of course, I'm a public official. When you decide to run for office, my home address, everything's public.
Yeah.
My network, everything is public what you do when you're in public life. But our officers are taught you don't put your address on there. You military personnel, you've got other countries that try to get through our and then you got people that are just out there trying to find scams to do. And some people just want to know. They're nosy.
Right.
So we teach them in basic not to do that, but that's been going around for many years now.
Gordon, I've heard you and Mr. Rayburn, me and Dave's heard it about this cheese. Cindy Norberg just said right here, that's when they gave out commodities. I wish I could get that cheese again and still.
Let me tell you, that was the best cheese.
Really? How long ago was this?
You're talking, well, I was a kid in school a day or two ago.
A day or two ago. Yeah.
I graduated in 1985, so you're talking in the late 70s or all the early 80s. That's when you used to go and get your steak cheese.
So what was it, guys? Stephanie and Gordon, was it like a block or what was it?
It was a big block of cheese, the best meal and powder.
Really?
I mean,
There's nothing best about
nothing
powder.
that tops it. It's the best macaroni cheese with that. The noodles with that cheese. It was the best.
So what? I mean, as time went, they just processed cheese different. Is that why it doesn't come like that
I
anymore?
know it was just who they had processing. I wish it was more like it tasted more like Velveeta, but it was harder like your mild cheddar.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and when you melted it, would melt. You could slice it as thick as you wanted to. It came in one big block.
I'm gonna tell you what. Can I give Stephanie a little homework for her?
Absolutely.
See if you can find that cheese, will you, and report it to us?
From Seminole Buddy to Seminole Buddy, I'll do it just for you.
I sure appreciate that, Stephanie.
I'm gonna try a piece of that.
I do too. I've heard.
Y'all didn't have that in Mississippi?
We didn't have that in Mississippi. Not like that. We had. I guess it was sort of the same, but it must not taste the same. I guess we had the block cheese, but it wasn't that near the block that y'all were talking about. A long one, right?
Gray,
we had more of the square, like you see in
more
the
of
packs
a
in the store
soft-
now. You know, just a smaller
Like the
square,
Velveeta.
like the Velveeta, sort of.
Oh, ours wasn't soft.
Yeah. So
You had to have a knife. Good. I mean, Velveeta
David,
soft.
I will have you the answer for you go to bed tomorrow night.
that sounds great. And we can put it on the show on Saturday?
Yes.
All right, that sounds great.
Yeah, we can eat it on the show Saturday.
Well, if we can find it. If it's still around, it may not be around.
Dwight Allen, 5-pound block of cheese.
I've seen Dwight Allen knows it. Byron,
Yeah.
they all love everybody.
We were
talking about
poor.
this
Y'all weren't
cheese.
as poor as us. Y'all got the
Oh, no, I
y'all
was
got-
poor in Mississippi now. I'll be
y'all
honest
got
with
the
you.
high dollar cheese. We had that old hard stuff, but it was good.
My mom come home with a
Yeah, I'm
foot and a
telling you.
half long, about 4-inch square.
Man, that stuff's
Peel
good.
that plastic off,
That's
and
how it was.
man, we chew.
What, so you may have had the same cheeses then,
Maybe the
possibly?
same stuff.
Yeah, I'm not always a worthless nut.
Well, hey, at least you're not like Mr. Heater. He loves them Wolverines.
Yeah, we had cheese up
Easy.
there.
Easy. Beef chicken.
That's a rival with old nuts.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
As I've told you before, my two favorite teams are the Florida Gators and anybody playing Ohio State.
Hey, nice. How about
I
that?
like that.
Hey, I like that too. Granny Starling was the best cook.
Amen. Amen.
Guarantee you.
Brett Dukes is on. Say hello to Brett. Yeah, Brett's on. Crystal Boy said, yes, sir. Amen. It's much more peaceful here now since moving back, Crystal said.
Amen.
Nancy still lives in Hampton. That's where I've known where she's always lived. Yolanda Jones, thank you for joining the show tonight. We're especially on a special show here. A little town meeting with our own Bradford County Sheriff, Sheriff Gordon Smith. Real quick question before we go to some other comments. Cindy says, okay, I'm reminding you that I need the Gordon for Bradford Sheriff sign in my yard. What do you got to do?
She gonna get them.
She gonna
we
get
can't put them out to the 19th.
That's correct.
I can tell you this: I've never had as many sign requests we've had. We just got 500 more delivered yesterday
Oh my goodness.
because we, a lot of the old signs. And this year was unique. I had to spend a lot of time with the old signs that we had stored, and of course we've moved, built our new home, because all the words have to be wrote out. You can't abbreviate paid political
Yeah, you're telling me.
advertising,
That's right.
paid for. And the only abbreviated word I had on mine was advertise.
Right.
But I had Showcase. Showcase went out. He printed me the labels, so I set out there. You see them on my porch. To meet, we've had over 300 sign requests so far. Just ordered 500 more. Then I had people say, "Can I put my old sign out?" I said, "Let me know, because we got to put a sticker on it." So I got to go and put that little sticker on the sign.
Right.
So I'm fortunate because people that put that sign in their yard means a lot. And we don't have to ask nobody. People have been asking.
Yeah.
We're going to meet them. Matter of fact, I've got folders for each area, and I've got teams that will be going out to place those signs in regards to it. And I've had phenomenal during this COVID thing. We couldn't do fundraising like we normally do.
Right.
So it's been a little more difficult, but I've had friends that have stepped up without having to do a lot, and they support.
Yeah, this
It
COVID.
really is humbling when people come to you to give you that support, that put that trust in you, to know that, hey, you're the guy for the job, you're the person. A lot of it hadn't come from family, but a lot of it comes from your friends, business owners, people that give you the $25 mean as much or more than a person can give you the $1,000 because they have that faith and trust in you.
Yeah.
That means a lot. It speaks to
Speaks
me.
volumes. It does.
And to look at them and know that, to say thank you.
Right.
And it's hard to raise money, y'all. When you look and you got to go and ask people for money in times that are tough as it is, it's not easy.
Especially with what's going on right now.
So
Yeah, with
it's
pandemic.
Angelina Otero said the case has been reassigned. Michael and Sheriff, do y'all know Trooper Kevin Roundtree?
I do.
You do.
I do.
Okay. Okay. So maybe Michael could help us out a little
Well,
bit.
and that was a response to Angelina from somebody else who's in the know on that.
Okay.
But it is and again, this is information that it's an active investigation. We're continuing to investigate. As we learn information, we'll pass it along. But rest assured that, as the sheriff will absolutely tell you, they take everything very seriously. This is an ongoing case. It is active, and they will seek resolution on this.
Got Udi watching.
Got Udi watching, don't we?
That's
yes,
it.
we do. I can tell you that right
I was
now.
scared to look behind me. Though.
I was scared to look behind
I
me.
didn't look
too.
behind me, Udi.
I didn't either. I will keep my eyes forward. Stacey Aldridge said, okay, yeah, we talked about that. Thank you very much, Crystal. Well, that's what we try to do each and every week. We try to bring you the best show as possible. We want to thank all you guys, our viewers that are watching. Y'all are the ones that make this show. Again, we're just the rudder that steers this big old vessel. It's their show. It's the community's show.
You know why?
It's not about David Rodgers or Dave Holland or Michael Heater or Byron Bagwell or Mitchell Gunner or Roger Cruz or John Probst, whoever's on the show. It's not about it. It's about these guys, the people that.
But I want to say something to you and your staff. During this time in Bradford County, we don't have the big news stations that come in and give everything. What y'all did for us in emergency management by allowing people to tune in to the elected officials and ask questions real time. I'd go on one of those local news stations and they came and we'd give them sound bites.
Yeah.
It's one-way communications.
Right. Yeah.
Y'all were able to give our community a two-way communications.
Yeah.
A local source to go to and ask those questions live.
Right.
And if we didn't know the answer, we were able to, because they were there,
Right.
we were able to return back and give them an answer.
Right.
That was awesome.
That meant a lot from you and your staff on the spot.
Yeah.
Dave and Heater, and all the guys, they did so much from Probst to, there's just a bit I'm missing, but let me tell you, we could not have done that without you because we don't have, not everybody watches the news on their TV. They got the antenna now. Not everybody, believe it or not, uses the internet.
Right.
It's always been a big problem in our community.
Right.
In the rural areas, it meets there.
Yeah.
Had somebody say, Sheriff, you put those big COVID signs up and they got your name on it.
Good grief.
I went, okay. That was part of our rural notification that's reimbursed by FEMA who asked, and I wasn't the only county that did that, but for some reason I got singled out with it. Those kind of things. So you get that. It happens. So if we did what we thought was right, there's always going to be the one or two that, for whatever reason, think you're doing it for something different. I get it. I do.
Right.
But we did what we had to do. And, it notified people. Because we did have people calling.
Yes,
what about
we
the
did.
people that, what are you doing about it?
Right.
We did something about it.
Right.
So that's part of it. And I can't, I'm sure all the elected officials that got to come before you and answer the community's questions in real live time. And it was two-way communication, not one-way. So thank you.
Gordon,
Bagwell and all
thank
y'all,
you.
they're
Yeah.
really- Mitchell Gunner. I mean, y'all spend a lot of time, your own time. Your own time.
Yeah, we're not getting paid for this.
All this stuff you set up means a lot.
Yes.
Well, let me say this, and again, I really appreciate those kind words as Dave Holland does, and as sure as Mr. Bagwell and Byron Bagwell and Mitchell Gunner and Michael Heater, who had just happened to have go on a call because he got a call. You were talking about our emergency management team, and there they go. They're on a response. But I want to just thank you guys. Like I said, it's not about us. We do several things in the community. I love doing the football games and Voice of the Tornadoes. Love that gig. I love this gig here,
man.
but that is probably one of my favorite gigs is the radio. I like to try to get everybody excited. Learn from a great guy, Mr. Terry Vaughn, our supervisor for elections. What a nice man that guy is. I tell you.
And he's a Seminole.
And he is a Seminole, by the way.
We
I'm
could have
bringing
been without the
Seminole.
Seminole stuff.
Yeah, but we got to bring the Seminole stuff in. But Terry Vaughn tunes into the show. Worked for a great group of people, WEAG Eagle Country 106.3. Need to give them a shout out, Chuck and Mary Kramer. Congratulations, by the way, on you being the new owners of the radio station. You heard about that?
I seen the post today, man.
That is so
official
awesome.
new owners, and they do so much for the community.
They do.
Because between the radio we had to use so much, because it was such a fast changing. With this COVID, it was so new that it was fast changing.
Yeah.
Trying to keep the community updated is really tough. Not everybody has Facebook. Remember, I got blasted.
Correct. You got
Not
blasted.
everybody has
Yes.
Facebook.
Right.
Not everybody follows the newspaper. It's already,
Yeah.
they had their comments. So we used every resource possible. And
Yeah.
you guys stepped up for hours coming in, setting up all your equipment to allow people to ask questions and keeping them informed. We normally talk sports.
Yeah.
We didn't have no sports to talk about.
No, we sure
We had
did.
to give you something to talk about.
Right.
In regards to it, because I love talking sports.
Of course you did.
But y'all took the time to keep it, and I can't say thank you enough.
That turned out really well. We touched base with thousands of people. Thousands.
And again, I want to thank you for those kind words. Hey, it's all. We all wash each other's hands. We have partnered up now with WEAG Eagle Country 106.3, who I work for during the football season. with the high school, the newspaper, Bradford County Telegraph. All these people are wonderful people, and I just want to say thank you to all you guys. Sheriff, that was very nice, kind words. But again, it's not about us. It's about the community. We love our community. I'm not from here, but I feel like I'm from
You're
here.
home
Y'all
now,
have,
baby.
yeah,
Just
y'all
because
have
you're home.
adopted me
We
here.
adopted you.
And,
It's home.
this is home here.
And that's like people say the good old boy system. It's not too good if you come on the good old boys. So come on, join our
That's right.
Bradford
You
County
come
family.
on. That's
Because
what I
everybody in
keep
this
trying to tell
county
everybody.
is part of that good old boy system.
That's right.
You know, if they want to be, they can be part of it. Because I never understood that definition of what that really was, but I figured it out.
And I haven't figured it out too.
You become a member of Bradford County.
Yep.
You become a resident.
Yep.
You become part of the good old boy system. You're one of us. And if you're passing through here, we got good old Southern hospitality. We're going to protect you and take care of you.
I lived in a few towns, but I've never lived in a town over 35 years.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
35 years here.
I look back through the date that I posted that old first video you did 12 years ago. You know, man,
Yeah,
my kids are getting old. I'm still looking pretty spry. But,
Yeah, yes, you are, man. I tell you, you're the best looking guy on this panel. But anyway,
my mom said I had a face for radio. I'm not sure what she meant by that.
well, that's what I've been told too. So, Crystal Bullock, 20 plus years, yes, 60s and 70s. 5-pound block of cheese. It was awesome. Alan said. Dwight Allen
I'm
said.
telling you, that was.
Stephanie's going to do it for us. She's going to get us that. She's going to get us that information.
answer tomorrow night for you.
Okay. Will you text me or message me on that?
Sure.
So we'll talk about that on the show Saturday, because on the show Saturday we're going to have Coach Brian Tomlinson come on, and we're going to have Chrissy Thompson from the Downtown Grill come on
good.
and talk about.
She's cooked up something.
Can she?
Hey, the Liars Club's back in full force at Chris's at lunchtime, but don't get there too early because I don't want you to get in my seat. The Bradford Liars Club is back in order.
You know who else I took out? Mr. Dwight Allen, just smoking a lot of that stuff.
Yes.
You say, oh my gosh.
Oh, they tease us with it. He sends you a picture. You know, Dwight likes to tease us a little bit.
Yes, he does
he
with all those pictures. Yeah.
That guy.
Nice.
But I seen one of his pictures. He had that Gordon. He already got his Gordon Smith sign in the background.
Did he?
Oh
Okay.
yeah, I told him.
Yeah.
He's looking nice. Get that sign ready. Get it out by the road.
The good people. Good
It was-
Angel Bellflower, I see you.
Yeah, it was. She
You're on the
says,
sign list. I promise you.
well, she also says about this. She says it was really the best cheese. Dave, what have we missed?
I'm telling you,
I don't
y'all
think I
y'all
missed
the
it.
childhoods. I like
You think you may have had it?
I'm pretty sure I did back when I was a little
Well,
kid.
it ain't like the stuff in Bradford County. I mean, it must have been better here.
It's better in Bradford. I promise you.
Everything's better at Bradford.
Cassidy Udy wanted to say something here. She said, I wanted to clarify real quick before I go that the interfaith rally I mentioned is virtual only. So I'm sorry.
Well, that's all right.
It's
Get
virtual
online.
only.
Get
So
online.
anyone who can't get out or make a prayer rally in person, it will be made up of various local faith leaders,
That's right.
and they will be streaming live, ladies and gentlemen, just like we are right now. Cassidy, thank you for that great information. Anthony Black says he remembers this cheese.
Hey, how do
I
we get?
must be lost.
I gotta go buy some cheese. I get reelected.
Yeah, I guess so.
I gotta buy lots of cheese,
You better
man.
buy lots of cheese.
Tell
Hey,
anybody if they find out an answer before me because I'm very busy at work.
tell them to get it, and then you'll
Yes,
pass.
Please, I'm very busy because I'm just right back into work. You
Right.
know, I'm staying really booked. But if anybody can help me tomorrow in between my patients, just shoot me a text.
Right.
If they have me on Facebook, please go to my messenger, send me a little message because I really want to have an answer for you before you go to bed tomorrow. Because
Okay.
I promised you I would have an answer. I'm going to have you an answer.
She said she promised. So if y'all find the answer, make sure you shoot it to
That's
her
it.
so she can shoot it to me.
Shoot it to you.
Shoot- yeah, you
I'm
go.
not going to sleep tomorrow night until I have you with
Yeah,
that
that's-
cheese.
I like Archie's FSU. Then you know it's election time.
Oh no, God, see how you went by that real quick.
But I do love my Seminole, Miami fans, even Ohio fans. I love them right now. It's a special
Yeah.
time. Come together, kumbaya.
Yeah, Kumbaya. Yeah, that's exactly right.
We just gotta have a football season, y'all.
All right, now
Boy,
let me ask
I'm
you something.
ready.
Mitchell Gunner said Nikki said she liked the shredded pork in a can. Now,
remember
what
that.
is that? Do you
Now,
remember that?
I don't know anything.
See, I know
about
exactly what
that.
you're
I
talking
asked
about.
him
Yeah.
to please. What does he mean by? I saw that comment. What does he mean by that?
Well, she said his wife, you know, his name is Nicole, Nikki, he
Right,
calls her.
right.
So she said she liked the shredded pork in a can. Now,
Yes,
this
that
is
used to
one
come.
remember-
That was another commodity.
Was that part of the
But-
commodity?
Yes, but you only got that didn't come very often. That was
Oh,
My granny and papa did not get that. I don't know if you got just a certain amount of stuff, but they never got that. They never
we was poor. We got
that.
everything.
I don't know. My grandparents T-shirts were pretty cool.
Hey.
I never saw that in a case.
Hey, we would
ever.
barter for those blocks of cheese. Somebody got it, we'd trade off something to get that block of cheese.
There you go. Joyce Bronk is part of Miss Otero's family. Otero hit and run case has been reassigned to Trooper Roundtree, which we just found out. Thank you, Joyce. Please contact the FHP with any information. However minor you may think it is, it could just be the key piece needed to help get this solved. And she wanted to thank all of
And I'm
us.
going to be honest with you, sometimes it's that little thing you take for granted. We solved a cold case when I became sheriff off of one little old scratchy note. And Investigator Mueller, at the time, that was the watch commander, found that little scratch note piece of paper or something and just went snooping around and discovered the body, which led to a murder case, which was solved within my first year of office. So, I mean, it was a several-year-old cold case. It just going through the notes and say, well, what that meant? And it was just a call that came in, and somebody jotted a little scratch note down, and he took the lead and making chicken salad out of chicken hockey sometimes. So it is that little piece you think don't mean nothing puts the puzzle together.
Joanne Harper. I remember this. I wasn't living here, but Shelley's parents were living here back in '86. Waters Grocery, that was in Lodi, used to sell that block cheese.
They did. They did.
Store was on the left at the red light, which I know that corner building, which is still, I would love to do something there. That would be a nice place to put something, along with the best meat cut to your liking.
You could get it right there. Let me tell you, the Waters didn't have it. And let me tell you, that's still a piece of Lodi history. And you look down, it's owned by Mr. Terode, Carl Terode, and they store stuff in it.
Yeah.
And after that, I remember doing race cars in there. I remember everybody sitting in that feed store because they had feed. They'd sell feed.
Yes.
You could buy your sandwich meat, you could buy whatever. And us sitting on them sacks of feed. And then at nighttime, we'd get to the store closed, and us Lodi boys would play hacky sack. Y'all know what that is?
Hacky sack. I know what hacky sack is.
Man, that was the game. That was the game back in the
Gordon,
day.
you must have really married way younger because I don't even know what that is.
Moving right along. Crystal says she misses that store. Good night, everyone. Dwight Allen. Good night, Dwight. God bless America too. Yes. Hopefully we're on our way to doing bigger and better things. Cindy says, either me or you're the man. She must be talking to you.
Might be you.
It may be me. It may be both of us. How about that? Cassidy, JewishRitual.com is where you can go and watch this. Events that are lending the virtual platform for the various space to meet. Mike, can you clear that screen for me there real quick? Those two things right there. I appreciate that. John Garner is watching. Archie Waters says, I will put a sign on my scooter, and when I ride around, they will know I love my sheriff.
Thank you, Archie. Thank you.
And Ellen says, I miss them. Oh, great question. There we go. Great campaign. She says, Gordon, do we donate to your campaign?
You can donate.
Great question.
We haven't done anything online. We tried not to go that, but if you here's the address. You can contact me on social media, and I'll give you the address, but it's 15564 Northeast 16th Avenue in Stark, and you just write it out to Gordon Smith for Sheriff. Any amount, doesn't matter if it's $1, $100, $25, $15. In regards to the people that give what they can, says more a lot of times in regards to it, and I'm blessed with a lot of the larger donations. But individual citizens that give that little bit, man, that gives the pep in your step to get up and wake up in the morning and say, you know what, I'm proud to be the sheriff. I still get excited to get up.
Oh, I'm sure.
You know, there's something about when somebody calls you up in the middle of the night and says, 2 in the morning, did I wake you? Oh, no, I was waiting on your call. You know, they're just like, what did you say? She's like, wake up, fool. There's just something about when the adrenaline rush and know that you can still have some benefit to somebody. This past Sunday, I had somebody at 7:30 in the morning at my door. You know, she can tell you, it's just what I do. And when somebody's not doing that, you're like, what's going on? What's happening? Does nobody love me? You get used to that. When it takes an hour to get a gallon of milk, I want to miss the day that it doesn't take an hour to get the gallon of milk. You say that, and I look back and say, what am I going to do when it doesn't take an hour? People have problems, or they have situations, or they have a question, or they just want to help. When I dread the day that may not happen.
Come here real quick. Question for you from one of my people that work over in Lake City. They said, by the way, you're beautiful.
Thank you.
Anyway, they said, how is it to be the wife of the sheriff? Some of your, I guess what some of the things that you may not have been used to before he became sheriff, that type of thing. What's some of the things that, I know you've gotten used to a lot of things and y'all been together for a long time. So, there you go.
Seemed just like yesterday.
So, yeah.
What is it like to be the sheriff's wife? Wow.
That's a great question. I thought it was a great question. You want to grab a seat?
Well, it's really true when Gordon says that you can't sleep, or he doesn't sleep, so you can. I'm telling y'all, he really means that. I mean, not to be all emotional and everything, but
Come on, Seminole girl. You're all right. You're good to go with me.
I'm telling y'all, my husband loves each and every one of y'all, and it's true. He'll sometimes wake me up in the middle of the night, 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, even last night. And I had to go back to work today, and I couldn't help but every time I kept looking at the alarm clock to see what time it was. And I was probably just anxious because I knew it was my first day going back after being off 10 weeks. My husband was like looking at his phone, and I'm like, Gordon, what are you looking at? And he said, I'm just making sure everything's okay in my community.
Of course.
And, it's true. You don't know anybody until you're married to them or you work with them.
Hey,
and let me tell you, I truly mean this with all my heart. This man loves each and every one of y'all. And when he says you can call him at any time of the night or the day, he truly means that. He loves you, each and every one of you. And it just blows my mind how many times of the night I can wake up, night after night, week after week, month after month, year after year.
Sure.
And I'm like, Gordon, what are you doing? And he's checking his phone. He says, Stephanie, I have to make sure that I haven't gotten a call or a text. I have to check on my community to make sure everybody is okay. And
I've got to tell you something. Let's grab a seat for us right here. Sit with us for a second. We're almost about to wrap up the show. Let me tell you what my favorite thing is. I'll call Gordon, right? Saturday or Thursday night, whatever. What are you doing, Gordon? I'm working for you, baby.
That's it.
That's it.
He
does that to me too.
I swear, if y'all haven't called Gordon, call Gordon and just ask him what he's doing. I'm here working for you, baby. And it doesn't matter what time it is. I think that is so great. I'm like, yeah, you still are.
Somebody says, I hate to bother it. Well, they're coming because they have something. It's important to them, no matter how. Yeah, Steph said, what was it? And she goes, really? I said, but it was important to them.
Right.
And it becomes.
he's never off, y'all. Even when we're in the Bahamas or Dallas, Texas, where I'm from, or Mexico, wherever, it doesn't matter, y'all. When Gordon tells you he's here for you, he's here for you. He's never off. You may hear, Gordon's out of the office. He's on a vacation for 5 days or whatever. He's never off.
I stopped the lawnmower about 5 times this week. She's like, what? I just have to stop because you can talk to people. If it rings, you've got, it's one of those things you have to give people a response. We're in an instantaneous world, so it becomes part of it. Becomes habit. I feel the phone vibrate even when it's not on side. It's part of that, and then you check it because now people between your phone, it rings 30 to 50 times a day.
Sure.
Social media, when I go in anymore, I don't do Instagram. Not Instagram, but the instant messenger on my phone.
Right.
I would never get any pictures. I go to work, there'll be 15, 20 messages.
Sure.
So you got to sit and go through stroll through the Facebook. You have to stroll through the Instagram. You have to stroll through the Twitter. You stroll through there because people, they have a situation and they want it answered.
Right.
And you've got to get that answer. You got to be accessible.
Hey, Dave.
Yes,
have you ever called Gordon? I know you had to step out for just a second. And you'll say, hey, Gordon, what's up? And what do you say? I'm working for you. right? Yeah, that's his favorite saying. I swear to you.
I love it.
Hey,
Hayden, please be careful coming home from South Carolina. Your daddy and I love you. And when you do come in tonight, because I'm going to try to get to bed at a decent time tonight since it's my second day back at work tomorrow, please make sure you lock the door. Be careful. Wear your seatbelt. No texting and driving.
And we love you too, Hayden, by the way. The whole staff loves you too, big guy. And Haley, we love you too. We know you're across the street watching the kids and the grandkids. Got your lovely husband over here. He was on there with us. So this has just been a great night so far. I want to get into a few more comments right here. So Ellen has a question, Gordon. She says, if your yard is fenced in and someone is coming in that wants to do you harm, do you have to wait for them to be at your door or in your door to shoot them? Or can it just be inside the fence?
A lot of scenarios, but here's the basic fact. You don't have any duty to retreat. I always say, are you in fear of your life?
Yeah.
Are you in fear of your life? And I'm a true believer, okay, in our 2nd Amendment. You don't pull a weapon unless you intend to use it.
Right.
Yep.
So I'm a true believer. If I pull it, I have all the intent to use it. And if you're going to cause harm to, and I'm getting older now, I ain't got as much fight as I used to have. But if I fear for 1 minute you're going to cause harm to me or my family, I can promise you I would ask you to do the same thing. Protect yourself at all costs. It includes that taking someone's life. And taking someone's life is not an easy thing. We talk about it. It's the aftermath that follows that causes a lot of harm to people to protect their families, because you have a lot of people out there that will come after you because of you doing the right thing. And protecting your family is the right thing.
Right.
Always will be. You can try me, but prepare yourself for the aftermath. I've been in shootings, been shot twice, stabbed, run over. So I've had my mouth got me in a lot of trouble. But I'm telling you, but protect your family. If they come across your fence and they are threatening to do harm to you, I am telling you, protect yourself at all costs, including if that means taking another one's life. And that's not an easy thing to say.
No, it isn't.
But protect yourself first.
Crystal Bullocks, thank you very much, Dave. She says, I just started watching this show recently, and it has helped me, and it's very, very informative.
All right.
Man, that's what we want to hear. It's about these guys. It's not about it. We love doing this. You know why? We was talking the other night. You say you love your community. You know why we all get together twice a week? We was just doing this show once a week, remember?
Yeah.
We do it twice a week now because we love each other's camaraderie.
It's
a brotherhood. Now,
and
it's a brotherhood.
I mean, it's a truckload of stuff you got to...
Yeah, of course. And Dave spends a lot of time on this computer, so does Mike, putting bullet points together, putting this VMix together. Man, without these two guys, this doesn't exist.
Oh, but
I'm telling you right now.
Mitchell and you got
I can do it.
Yeah, and
Mitchell
I can't always be here. So between the mix, you've always got to be able to fill.
Right.
And y'all have brought a service to our community that really we don't have a Gainesville news market. We don't have a Jacksonville news market.
Right. No.
And the Telegraph does what it does. They do a great job. Been doing it for 100 years.
Yep.
And that's a neat, because I still like to open the paper. I still like to
Sure
open
you
the
do.
paper.
Sure you do. We all
It's
do.
better than getting it on my phone. But there's just something about now with technology. I can put you on my television screen now when I'm sitting here at night, and I zoom you to my television screen.
Right.
Yep. I do those times. It's just something I know, and I'm getting local stuff. I do like sports. I miss the sports part.
We're going to get back to it. I promise you we're going to get back to it. I
But
promise you we're going to get back to
carrying
it.
the local news, people can do it. But here's the thing. You're offering something that I can't get in my Channel 4, Channel 12, Channel 34. Two-way interaction.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
what you brought.
Yeah. Well, we really appreciate that.
And with all the equipment and all the time that we spend, it wouldn't be nothing if we didn't have this man right here,
That's it.
David Rodgers.
Yes.
That's it.
Let me
I
tell
appreciate
you,
that. I appreciate it.
when I think of some of the kindest men I've ever known in my life, I think of you, David.
Oh, my
you
God.
are
You
such
tell
a
me that.
kind, sweet man.
That's
I mean,
it.
you're just a wonderful person. And it truly shows. It comes from the inside to the out. And I hear that about you a lot in our community.
Well, I sure appreciate it. Thank
You're
you.
a good,
Gordon,
kind,
Stephanie, speaking about your family, your grandkids came in the shop, and I mean to tell you, that was one of the best days I've had, having those two boys in my chair.
Oh, really?
That little guy
that's
now, I mean,
buckshot
he's a
dynamite.
talker.
Oh, yeah, buckshot and dynamite. You got to watch out for them two
No
little guys.
doubt,
I'll tell you
man.
what.
And I'll piggyback onto that. Several months, I guess it's been several months ago, we had a public education, little PR event with Engine 20. Man, I got the chance to have the grandkids come climb on the fire engine, get some pictures made. And that was great. So mature for their age. So well behaved. It was amazing.
That's because they got a mean mom and daddy.
They-
Their mom and daddy,
they-
their mom and daddy are
they
mean.
they're not afraid of their
Yeah.
parents. Me.
They're afraid of grandma.
I'll be the first person to spank them out of anybody.
I'm sure they're structured real
they're
good,
our
though.
world. Gordon, I love our grand.
Ellen, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. It's just it touches my heart, man. We'll talk about some of those things after the show. You're quite welcome, Crystal. We're just doing what we love to do. We do it for our community. It's just great to be able to talk with people You know, sometimes it's great to talk to your coworkers and stuff, but it's great to talk to other people as well. And this is what this is all about. It's about our community. There's several people that know me that I don't know them.
Right.
You know,
right. Oh, that happens to me all the time.
yeah.
I go places, people are like, "Hello, Stephanie." I'm like, Gordon's like, "Stephanie, just always smile and wave," and I do. And I'm like,
and hello, and then you.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah,
but-
travel somewhere. We're so used to waving at everybody.
Yeah.
Then we go out of town, which isn't often. And Stephanie's like, "Why are you still waving?" It's just you see somebody, you make eye contact, you wave.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Sheriff, I seen you today. You didn't even wave back. So, I mean, I'm
Because
waving.
he didn't see y'all, because Gordon is like me. He is so friendly. And if he doesn't speak to you or wave at you, he is not.
I'd wave at
jolly.
everybody.
He just
We'll
did
be,
not see you.
we'd be out of town. She's like, "What are you
Everybody.
doing, fool?" I said, "Well,
Yeah.
I made
You
eye
speak to
contact. You
everyone.
waved."
Here we go again. Lisa, thank you very much. You are a wonderful viewer. You're all the time on. She says, "I'm so proud of you guys. From what I can see, you have the most people watch tonight." Whoop, whoop to everybody.
That's it. Thank you, Miss Lisa.
Thank you
I
very
grew
much.
up with Lisa. Speaking of memories, Lisa and I went to so many church camps together. We grew up, my dad was our preacher, and let me tell you, Lisa, she's a good girl.
Oh, she
Good
sounds like she's
Christian
always
girl.
on the show. Very much.
Yeah,
good
so.
people.
She's good people. Good people.
Let's see. The ones that are hating, complaining, they are the ones that don't do anything for the community usually.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and that comes with everything. You've always going to have here's my thing in life. I don't like to be around negative people. I like to be around get it done people. So you see my optimistic when you throw the worst at us.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe it's something wrong with my thinking. I don't know. Maybe it's a sickness or disease. But I like a challenge. And there's some of us that live our whole life waiting for that challenge. And there's some people that spend their whole life trying to avoid that challenge. You know what I'm saying? And I'm one of those people that bring it. People say, "Oh, the storm's come." Well, okay, let's go.
Let's go.
Saddle up. We're going to get it done.
Yeah.
And we'll do what it takes to get it done. Now, you're going to have the people that that Monday morning armchair every decision we make. I get that. But if you be open and honest, nothing we do is really secret other than an active investigation. So we post a lot of public stuff. And it's not, sometimes people say, "Well, you shamed some people. You got online and you shamed some people." Well, putting them in jail didn't work. So let's try something
Let's
else.
try something else.
We try something in a different facet. It's because we don't want to throw people away. Yes, we're tough on crime, but the majority of people are good, and we'd rather recycle them and make them good, productive. We don't put them in jail to throw away the key.
Right.
There are the evil people we do that with, but that's the few. That's the few. Most people, we want them to be productive citizens. They don't have to think like me. They don't have to act like me. They can be different than me, but be productive citizens, good neighbors in our community. That's why we're Americans.
That's right. And you're exactly right. I'll get to you there in just a second, Tony. Thank you, Ellen. We love you too. Brett Duke says, "Best community in the state." Charles said, "Great show tonight. Thank you, Sheriff, for everything that you do and are going to do. You deserve a raise, and so do most of all your officers, Bradford County and U.S. Stay Strong."
Well, I don't want to address that because that's somewhere out there on the issue. It said we lost some good deputies or leaving. It was spoke one night. I want to clarify that. We keep a lot of deputies that could go anywhere and make more money.
Yep.
When you can go to Alachua County and get a $5,000 bonus and make $10,000 more a year. You can go to Clay County and make $7,000 more a year and $3,000. Even some of the new firemen we hired are going to, they're making, less than $30,000 here, and then Marion County picks them up for $54,000 a year. You can't blame a man, but you know what? But the people that love the community, they stay here.
They stay.
And I stayed.
Yes.
I stayed.
Yeah.
I could have left.
Yeah.
Had opportunities to leave. Left one time. My wife will tell you.
Yeah.
We left for 3 days. Had a job making $7,000 or $8,000 more
Or
dollars.
St. Lucie County.
Drove down there. We put money down on a house, and whatever happened, I don't want to call it a vision. The Holy Spirit, whatever it was, came over me. That warm, fuzzy feeling came over me. And Stephanie had already told her boss she wasn't coming back. I'd already told Sheriff Milton at the time. I said, "I'm not coming. I'm down there to pick out a house." The man was delivering a new patrol car. And back then, we had jumpers. We were working on our own patrol cars at the time. There was no money.
Right.
We were fixing our own cars, deputy
Right.
sheriff cars. And I remember we didn't have cell phones. Our daughter Haley was just a baby. She was just a baby. I remember having a picture with her in the pool. And I just looked over at her. Whatever came over, I said, "I ain't taking this job." She goes, "We just put $600 down on a room apartment. Never got it back to this day."
Yeah.
I remember stopping at a rest area on a payphone, calling Miller. He just happened to be in the office. He said, "Lord, I told you if you leave, people forget about you. I know one day you want to be the sheriff. You don't wake up one day and say you want to be the sheriff."
That's right.
And he said, come home, I'll throw this thing away. I drove back home, never left, and my career took off. And could have been anywhere making more money. So it wasn't about more money.
Right.
No.
But, you know, I've seen a lot of people leave and they want to come home to be the sheriff because it makes a decent salary.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I'd be lying if I didn't say that.
Right.
But I stayed. I made the sacrifices because nobody was going to love this community more than me.
Right.
I got that same story.
You know, that's,
I moved out of town.
Yep.
5 weeks later, I couldn't stand my neighbors being 6 feet to the left or the right of me.
Right.
And I got back into God's country.
Amen.
Amen.
God.
All right. Let me see here. Cindy wants to know where the Liars Club's at.
Well, there's a couple of them. I'm not going to lie. We got a couple.
You gonna lie? Okay.
I'll be honest with you. We tell the truth 3 different ways before we lie.
Okay.
But no, I can tell you in the mornings, Lawdy right now, I used to go to Lawdy every morning. My wife knew I'd get up early because I had to make my trip to Lawdy up there. But Slice and Dice is talking about opening up in the old restaurant there. Over the years, it's struggled in Lawdy, but we got them opening up, so we'll be back to Lawdy. But right now, we're in the morning time. We're meeting at our house there in Stark. In regards to that big table, gotta have a big table. For some reason, that liar table keeps growing. I'm not quite figuring that out.
I may have to join the Liars table one day.
But let me tell you, at Chrissy's at lunchtime, we go there at Chrissy's at lunchtime, and everybody gets in a hurry to get there because you want to have a seat. You want to feel
Is there a certain day?
every day of the week.
Every day of the week. Oh my God.
Yes, 12 to 1. So you try to
12 to 1,
slide there
okay.
because if you don't, you show up late. I'm gonna
to.
tell you, you won't get a spot. But it's a very diverse makeup of the community.
Yeah.
At both of those tables, and I go to Keystone every now and then, and go down to Keystone. I mean, they got a bunch down there. You talking about telling some stories? So in the community we call it, it's where people, men and women, can gather. Man, I'll be honest with you, the majority of us men,
Right.
And men don't gossip.
No, not at all.
Men don't gossip.
No, they don't gossip.
They think it's facts.
Yeah,
They
it is facts.
They believe it themselves. That's the sad part.
Right,
The
Chris,
sad
it's
reality-
facts, isn't it?
Sad reality is that they believe it themselves, which is what makes it so terrorizing. But we get there, and it's sports talk. It's what's going on in the community, and they hear the ear. And let me tell you, sometimes you get your feelings hurt. I've told you, you can't thank God for honest friends that pick up a phone or to confront you and say, "Gordon, what you're doing here is wrong. We don't need this in our community," or "What you're doing is wrong." If you leave and don't come back to that, you don't want to be real with yourself. And those people make you be real. They may laugh and joke with you, but when it's real needs or they see you doing something, I'm blessed with a group of people that will say, "Hey, fool, that's not what we want."
No, you're right.
It's and when you go against that grain, they're brutally honest. You got to be thick-skinned. Don't go down and sit at that table because you're gonna get your feelings hurt if you're thin-skinned.
I wanted to get back. Mike was going to get back there. Tony Black says Gordon don't care if they lost cat or kill him. He will treat both the same way. They will both get solved.
And it goes back to what's important to you may not be important to the next guy. I always refer to new deputies when I try to explain to them I'm having a conversation. They're brand new. I say, look, that person you get about the bicycle can be way more important than the person that had their pickup truck stolen, because the pickup truck probably insured, or the person that has a little more means than the person that has a bicycle, and that's their only means of going. So you've got to be mindful of that when you're dealing with citizens. And it's biblical. You help the poor and the disabled first. That's biblical.
Ellen, it's funny because every time I see her, I think the same thing. I don't think I've ever seen her where she has a frown on her face, but says, "Stephanie, I appreciate your kindness. You always have a smile and a kind word for me." I don't think I've ever seen you where you were just really sad-faced, unless maybe at a funeral or I've seen you somewhere where, you should be a little more somber. But every time we see you in a Walmart or wherever we see, wherever the ballet place
She
may
mean. She mean.
No.
Is she?
Woo. Crack a whip.
Hey, let me tell you something. I ain't saying that about my Seminole friend. You ain't getting me in
When
trouble.
you call me, say, "Sheriff, what you doing?"
I'm only mean when us Seminoles are beating up on the Gators. I have to be.
She's
All right,
serious
let
about
me
a
ask
sport.
this. Can I go ahead and get an invite right now? Or what are we doing in Florida? Are y'all going? Or
We
not
go
sure?
every year. And I
Are you,
always,
so it's going to be in Doak Campbell this year.
I hate to admit this. It's kind of embarrassing, but let me just tell you. I always pout because I hate sitting in the
In the Gator section.
I hate sitting in the skybox.
On the skybox.
And I
We give up our
pout. He
skybox.
likes sitting in the
Oh,
skybox.
It's air
I always
conditioned,
give
heated.
it up. I want to be
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
stands where all the action is and the loud noises.
She wants to scream.
And if I want to raise my hand and say, I want a Coke or whatever.
Yeah, right. You want to feel the atmosphere.
She wants
Yeah.
20 people to touch her coat before she gets
I'm
it.
good.
I don't get that. It'll be 100 degrees. We're sweating. Oh, I'm thinking we could be sitting in a skybox. You know, it's good.
When we don't know what's going to happen with the COVID-19 thing. Really quick.
That's funny because I asked one of my patients today. I'm like, what about football?
Right.
What is going on with football? Do you think everything's going to,
I think there's going to be a season. I don't know how much and who's going to be playing because
Who's
it's going to be.
watch? You're going to be there.
And that's exactly
as
right.
long as
Right.
Florida State plays Gators and we beat the Gators, I don't care about nothing else. Sorry, Gordon.
Sorry, Gordon. But anyway.
Moving on.
Even when the Gators win, I lose. You know?
I said you lose.
Yeah.
I was going to say you lose either way,
He
don't you?
loses either way. And Ellen, thank you so much, sweetheart. My mom always brought me up to, you know what? You treat people the way you want to be treated. And there's so much stuff that's hidden behind a smile. And there's been times, it's been hard for me. And people just gave me that smile. That's just what I needed to get me through the day. And I hope my smile has gotten you through the day. But thank you so much, Ellen. I appreciate it.
Byron Bagwell, brother, man, I could not ask for a better friend than Dwight Allen. Him and Dwight grew up
Yes.
together.
Oh, man.
And he said David Rodgers is no slouch either, and I appreciate that. He said about you guys as
Yep.
well. The pork is good. I don't know about the pork, Crystal. We'll find out about
Yeah,
that.
it's
And
good.
somebody else said about this cheese. Daggone it. Dude, what is it about this cheese? David, what is it about this cheese?
It's good.
It's better than Wisconsin
I'm
cheese, I can
telling
promise.
you, I've got to find this cheese, or some of y'all Facebook people have to find me that cheese so I can fix him a big pot.
Well,
of macaroni and cheese.
something. At least give me a chunk of slice of it or
Yes.
something.
You take it and slice it right, throw it between two slices of
Just
bread,
nothing
and
else.
do you a grilled cheese.
Yes.
Whoa!
With tomato soup.
So you must
Yeah.
know about this cheese.
There's nothing better.
No.
Mr. Gordon does not like the dogs. I'm sorry.
Dog.
No.
I'll answer that for
I
him.
can tell you
Oh,
no.
Lord.
That's
She
it.
says,
That's another team in this.
she said that cheese makes really good tacos too. I guess put it
Yeah,
on tacos.
I'm telling you, you can do anything with that cheese, man.
My mom is in Michigan, and she says she still gets those commodities. That's what Ellen said. Ellen said that.
Really?
Yes.
Ask her, can she find out? Did we get them in Florida? I mean,
Yeah, Ellen, can you find out about that for us?
Yeah.
And get with Stephanie. Make sure you
Please.
get with
It's
Stephanie.
worth whatever it costs, I can promise you.
Oh, I'm sure it
You
is.
make sure you check
Have a
your
cheese
mail.
party
I'm-
here
okay.
one night.
I'm not going to look. I'll just forward it to
I'm
you.
gonna have you an answer for you go to bed.
Okay,
tomorrow.
yeah. I want the answer from you.
It's gonna be from me. So
Okay.
y'all help me out there, please, because I'll
Okay.
be busy at work tomorrow.
It's Charles Tatum, Lawrence Mosley, the sheriff, and Judge Tatum, and a few of the guys in the community that meet for breakfast. I used to serve them. They are a hoot.
Oh, yeah, that's the same bunch. It hadn't changed.
Does hoot mean liar?
Easy.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry.
No,
Oh,
it means fun.
There you go.
There you
It's
go.
fun to eat.
Well, it's the Lions Club. That's what I was
It's no
referencing
fun
to.
if you can't embellish the story.
Wait a second. Wait. Stick with Liars Club, because if you start saying Hooters, you're going to have a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that. I don't know nothing about that.
Okay, maybe I need to leave on this.
No, you're still here. It was another commodity, and at one point, Cisco Food Company would deliver the same
Really?
cheese to fostering families of Bradford families and Ark residents.
Really?
Oh, okay.
So maybe
Oh,
the
Cisco.
Ark, maybe you can call Sherry over there. Maybe she may know.
Yeah.
Sure.
There you
If
go.
anybody has a number, please just private message me tomorrow. I will check it in between my patients, and I would love to find out because I'm going to fix Mr. Dave Rodgers
All right.
for all his kindness and hard work a pot of macaroni and cheese with that cheese.
With that cheese, Gordon.
Yes.
Hey, that's going to be awesome. Obviously,
telling you.
hey, you
Share
grew
it.
up to be a nice, good-looking young man. Maybe it'll help me out some.
Man, I told you, Mama said I had a face for radio. I was going to make it.
Barbie said she's way late tonight. She must have been working. She says, "Oh my God, I have to go back and watch." She's sorry she missed it. We tease them and tell them all the time they're full of it. Thus being named the Liars Club. Okay, is it back in Lottie now? I don't know.
We're waiting to slice and dice. They had the trailer there.
Slice and dice, yeah.
They're moving.
Food.
Yeah, Stephanie loves slice and dice. That's well worth the money.
Amazing.
You know, but they've got the restaurant now. They're going to be opening the restaurant right there
Yes.
next to
And
that.
Next to that.
And their trailer's going to be by another lady going cooking a different type of food.
Right.
Nikki
Nikki Plum.
Plum.
Yeah, Nikki
Gonna be
Plum.
Plum Delicious
Yeah.
or whatever it is.
I heard her food
So they
is
say
really
she's got good cooks. So
Yeah.
it brings some. Lordy deserves it.
Yeah, sure does, man. It's right around the corner
The
from my house.
the second largest municipality in the Bradford County.
Is that right?
Yeah.
All right. I told you the Quad Cities.
That
Quad
bunch,
Cities.
that bunch keeps trying to get the courthouse.
You remember the
I'm not
Quad
sure
Cities, right,
what's going on.
Stephanie?
Yeah.
That's Florida,
Yes.
Stark, Brooker, Hampton.
And Hampton.
There you
I'm
go.
telling you.
Can't forget Hampton.
Can't forget Hampton.
That's right.
Let's see. Maybe I know Slice and Dice moved the restaurant, but
Have you
yes.
had their food, David?
Oh my God, yes.
it is
Those
so
hamburger,
good.
everything.
Oh, my God.
You
Yeah,
had
but-
to-
let me tell you,
Yes.
they're always so
They're
busy you had to
so
wait, but it
nice.
was well worth the wait.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if they don't have what it is, they make it up. I mean, they have done. I'd have never dreamed it, but man, people go. It's gonna be interesting with the restaurants. It's gonna be neat.
Yeah, I'm so happy for them.
That's hard work. Restaurant
Yes, it
business,
is.
Restaurant
Hard
business is
yes,
hard work.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
Yes, it is.
Gosh,
There's no
we're
rest in the
having it
restaurant
hard.
business.
Cindy, thank you very much. You're awesome. Y'all are awesome. We just the rudder steers a big old vessel. Dave, she says she loves everybody. We're just the rudder that steers this big old vessel. Thank you very much. Couldn't none of them do the job better than you? She
I
said.
try. We make mistakes. If I sat up there and said we didn't, but the credit goes to the men and women that go out there each and every day, and we're blessed because we have a group of men and women who care to make a difference each day.
Right.
And I mean, Bradford County is big enough to serve our community,
Right.
but we're still small enough to care.
Right.
And that's what makes us different from all the other agencies. And they know me. I'm a numbers guy. They know me. I close doors and I walk down the hallway in the mornings when I get there, and I'm checking on cases. I'm following up. Go to my cases myself. We had a runaway kid today, and the lady's like, one of my biggest like I say, on social media, been on me pretty hard lately. And, I think it made a difference by me showing up there and realizing,
Sure.
dang, the sheriff. How many sheriffs do you know that you can reach out and have that contact with? There's got to be a difference in that.
There is a difference.
So
Makes a big difference.
but that's also the reason why we get our finger on the pulse of what goes on in our community.
Right.
We don't have the situations you've seen across this country.
Right.
That's the difference between an elected official and an appointed official.
Right. What you got, Mike?
Just real quick, I want to give a prime example. I'm going to talk about the last 20 hours. In 20 hours, our sheriff went from investigating cases to leading a meeting at the Emergency Operations Center over the COVID-19 update and the local state of emergency to a missing person, and has taken time to talk to at least 3 people I know that came wandering into the lobby saying, "Hey, is the sheriff around? Do you have an appointment?" "Well, no, I just want to see him." And it
And
took a
do
couple
this
minutes.
town hall meeting tonight.
He comes out of his office, takes time, doesn't just sit here and I'll get back to you, invites them into his office, talks to them, and then puts up with us for 3+ hours tonight. And so when you talk about 24 hours a day, I have seen
But
it
the wife
firsthand.
had to blow the porch off first. When you
Yes,
called
she
me-
did. When you called, you
called
was
me,
blowing the porch off, wasn't you?
I blowed the. I said, "What are you?"
What was
I said,
Chris?
Wow.
By the way, what was Chris doing while you was blowing the porch off?
He had my grandbaby.
Chris,
He
let
said,
me
"Make
just
sure my
tell
grandbaby
you,
was fed."
Chris is the best
Oh,
husband
man.
and the best father.
Let me tell
He
you.
was baited. I can vouch for this. He was baiting those 2 little precious, adorable grandsons of ours. He is the best hands-on father. I promise
You know, Bradford High School made a great hire when they hired that young man right there and Miss Atkins. 2 of the best hires. They're young. They're enthusiastic. I don't never know. I can't remember Chris. I don't think there's ever been a time that I've ever went to Chris and Chris has just blew me off. Chris talks. Hey, what you want to do? Hey, you want to do this? Whatever the case may be. If it doesn't happen, it can't happen. But there's times, you know what I'm saying? He'll make sure that something does happen. And I'm going to tell you what. You're talking about a class act. Your daughter, which is beautiful and a class act of herself,
Look like a
couldn't have married a better. Yeah, looks like her. No, I ain't saying that. Couldn't have better married a finer young man.
and let me tell you that
Chris
story.
Coffey. I love it.
Let me tell you,
There's nobody
Chris-
better than him.
Chris was Union County. Ugh.
The school down the road, because if I say that, Coach Tomlinson makes me do push-ups.
That's what I'm saying. So he was the math teacher over there, but he'd gone to school, met our daughter, got married, finished his master's degree, doing all those things. Well, I didn't. I knew that Carlton Falk, which is a dear friend of mine.
Oh,
he's
love
retiring
Carlton,
this
yeah.
year.
Nice guy.
And I remember when he come to high school, all muscled up. When he's out of college, he was, I was a graduate there, and all the, people loved him. But Coach was one of the best principals we had. I call him Coach, but Carlton Falk.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was mentoring us. We always teased back and forth. You know how I am about my football.
Oh, yeah.
And basketball. That's my two sports. I wasn't no good. Baseball scared me all too fast, and hand-eye coordination was bad. But that was my two sports. So basketball and football, and so we'd always have that rivalry. Well, I didn't, unbeknownst to me, Carlton told him to apply for the job and be interviewed. So me, I'm gonna have some influence.
Of course.
Sheriff gonna pull some rank.
Yeah.
Hey, my son-in-law married to my daughter. Need to do so and so. I'm giving this whole spiel to this person doing the interviews. And they thought for a minute. They said, "Well, Sheriff, you're not gonna put in a good word for your son-in-law?" I said, "My son-in-law for what?" For what? They said, "Well, your son-in-law's applied." I went, "Huh?" Well, I went to stutter and I didn't know. I was like, "Well, yeah, he's a good guy too."
He's a good guy too.
I'm putting in a word for him. Actually, I'll be honest with you, it was for Vinny Blight at the time. Was
it for
Blight.
Vinny? Okay.
I'm putting in a word, and they're like, "Well, you're not gonna put in a good word for your son-in-law." I'm like, you caught me. We're driving down the road. Was in my truck on speakerphone. I didn't know what to say. I was blindsided because I hadn't always applied. Then it gets, they just got the job because it had nothing to do with me. I'm putting in a word for somebody else.
I do want to say one thing just real quick on that, and we'll start winding down the show a little bit. But as far as I like to see the continuity that's going on at the high school right now. Over the years, it hadn't had very great continuity. Always having a principal, every 1 or 2 years, and just wasn't no consistency there. Now that I think we got these 3 people in there, Simpson, Mr. Coffey, and Miss Atkins. I tell you, I think, and along with the other great people that work there as well. I think we got some continuity at the high school. I'm hearing a lot of great things around the state. Remember when you used to hear that old Bradford Cats at F school?
Yeah,
I'm tired of that school. They don't deserve any blah blah blah. And all of a sudden, with all y'all's hard work and everybody's hard work there, now we're starting to shoot up the ladder. Now people want to come here. Hey, new football field helps too, doesn't it?
Sports.
Sports.
And people. We took a hit with that.
To me, the best football field around.
When you drive and somebody moves here, people understand. It's not just the people here. When kids can go anywhere they want to now, there's not these boundaries.
Right.
If you're going to move to Bradford County because you get a job with the hospital, you get a job with Camore, the prisons, whatever you get a job, and you come here, you're looking for a place to relocate. You have to look at the facilities.
Right. Yes.
It's not the way it used to be.
No.
You ever notice when the sports program does good, so does the educational program?
Yes, it does.
It all runs hand in hand. Whether
Whether
it be band, whether it be chorus, which.
How about that band program that we got? Oh my God!
Well, I got kicked out of chorus. Poor Mr. Hardy, he said, "Gordon, ag, you need to go to ag." So, and the 2 things in ag I thought I'd never need was parliamentary procedure and public speaking.
Right.
And the only 2 things I really took away from there. But it was a great program. But the arts are so important, and those instilled in our school. I was a chess player. I love chess, so it was chess. But I'm telling you, we're making big strides.
Dana Bell, thank you for joining us. She says, always love the show. I keep hearing a lot of Bradford Strong with a lot of hearts. I don't know, Cindy. I'm going to have to find out if the Liars Club is great. I used to go there not just for the food, but those conversations. Byron said, good night there, Mr. Noah Gibson. Mitchell Gunner, Stephanie looks like she never ages. I hear that. Do you hear that? I hear that same.
What about
I hear it all the time.
Hey, what about Gordon?
Well, you look great too.
Who did you say that? Mitchell?
Mitchell Gunner.
Mitchell, I owe you a free massage. Thank you so much.
I wish I would have said that. I get macaroni with the block cheese.
I'm still going to fix your macaroni.
Oh, okay.
I'll take the macaroni and cheese.
And Mitchell, I will give you a free hour massage, and believe it or not, I'll be 48 a week from, or excuse me, a month from today.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
Age is just a number.
Ellen's laughing at you, Sheriff.
Age is just a number.
Yeah. Stephanie has been a nice person since she was a baby.
Oh, thank you.
You know, that's Lisa.
Oh,
biggest mistake.
You and Lisa are pretty good friends growing up, huh?
yes, I love her.
Hey, my mother-in-law thought I was the devil when she married me.
No.
That's a whole nother night.
I ain't got
nother...
Anthony Black says those are having gator tail for
But I'm her favorite son-in-law, so we were all good.
Yeah, there you go. Let's see. Thanks for
She loves me.
Thank you. She wants Angelina Otero.
Yeah.
That she says, thanks for the show for trying to make my brother's story stay alive.
You gotta keep it alive.
Promised you
I promise.
that we would, and I promised your cousin that I would do that, and I'm a man of my word, and I'm going to keep doing that. She said, thank you, Sheriff, for at least looking and saying
You've got to keep that insight going, and I get over Putnam County Way, so we'll make sure we make some strides and ask questions. Got to keep asking questions.
Yeah. So, Sheriff, if he's ever over there, he'll probably ask some questions. Maybe he can give us a little what he can. And that would be great, too. So, Mr. Terrell, thank you for joining in from Interlaken. They all love you, man. What is this? Maybe you ought to be sheriff of all 3 counties. Or
Oh,
all
Lord,
4
my plate's full, I promise.
Let's see. Anthony Black said, he lives in town. He said he's going to come see you when he's in town. Dana Bell says, I love coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know she does.
Coffee, but not spelled like coffee.
Nah, it's not spelled like,
Well,
there you go.
The Green Mile, I'll never forget that. The actor in that movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's your name? Coffee, but not spelled like coffee.
Loud coffee. All right. Stephanie, Cindy said she's going to go to bed. She says she loves you. God bless. She's got to do a double at Sonny's. She said, good night and God bless all. Want to wind up the show down a little bit. Come on, Chris. Come on in here a minute. Come on. You're part of the family here.
It's family.
Absolutely. No, Stephanie. Oh, no. You sit right there.
Come on in.
I want to say first and foremost, Gordon, thank you very much. I really appreciate you having us in your home, you and Stephanie.
Anytime. Our house is always open to anybody, anytime. And I always want people to feel welcome when they come here.
Well,
our house is your house.
Well, we sure appreciate you having us here. Gordon, I want to thank you for doing this first town meeting. I think this was a great success. I think as we go back and look at numbers and things that we've seen over the show, we've already got another candidate. Miss Cat is going to join. We're going to do that
have more. This
on the
way,
23rd.
During this COVID time, this is really
Right.
to reach the people, to get to tune in, see who you are. I like to remind people, I like to brag on the men and women what they do every day.
Right.
It gives me a time to. Elections allow me to showcase what the men and women are doing, and you actually get to dispel a lot of rumors because people ask you stuff, you go, "What? Why? No," and you get to dispel that you don't get to do any other time, but that every 4 years. Right. It's really about the men and women that go out there every day and prove that what they're doing is making a difference. I got to take credit when crime goes up. I got to get the credit when it goes down.
Right.
But it's all about serving and reminding the men and women that it is the taxpayer that pays our salary.
Yes.
Never let them forget that. It is about helping the little lady across the street.
Yep.
It's the little things that make a difference in the lives of everyone. So that's what we try to do. We're not perfect.
Right.
We offend people sometimes unknowingly. We have to use force when it's not fun. We don't go to work and strap on and say, "Oh, we're going to go out there and have to use." We don't want to do that, and that happens very, very, very seldom. That's not a very often thing that we use force. We have to do special reports. The men and women have body cameras, in-car cameras. We've tried to make ourselves accountable and hold ourselves accountable. I present numbers and stats you see in books and newspapers to show what we're doing. You know what? And sometimes I got to take it on the chin when we mess up.
Right.
But you know what? I'll be there because this community's been with me through the good times and the bad times. And it just goes back to no one's going to love more than me.
That's right. And that's exactly right. A couple of quick things, Sheriff. Tell everybody where they can send a political donation if they want.
Can.
And also tell them about the signs, how they can get the signs and when the signs can go.
Contact me on my social media.
Yeah.
Or I use a page now because of the pages for advertising.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Our Sheriff Gordon Smith is out there. You can go to that and private message me. You could a check can be mailed to 15564 Northeast 16th Avenue, Stark, Florida. You call me, I'll come get it. I don't care if it's $1. I'll come see you myself.
Wow.
If you want to sign, we've had over 300 sign requests. We just got 500 more signs in, so we're getting prepared for the day we can put them out.
Right.
We've got that coming. We're not. I hate signs. Can I just tell y'all? It's a political necessary evil that I should say. It was up to me every time I've ever ran. I've asked my opponent, "You don't want to do signs? We won't do them.
Right.
We'll do something else."
We'll do.
But they never take me up on that offer. I wish they would. In regards to it, and once the sign wars start, we're going to litter our county with signs because it's not just my race.
Right.
It's all the other races going on.
That's right.
And regardless, whether you support a candidate or you don't, be courteous, be kind.
Yes.
We all got to live here when this election is over.
Right.
We've all got to live here together. And I just ask you, notice, because politics can be a blood sport.
Yes, it can.
And some people use it to put out their ugly. I will not be part of that. Anybody that does that, I will condone. I don't want them to be a part of mine because my opponent does come from good family.
That's right.
And they're good people.
Yeah.
And I don't want anybody to say anything negative that will affect his family. He's got
That's
children too.
Yes, he does.
And so I always try to be mindful of that. And if you do it on my behalf, I mean, you got a problem.
Right.
So this election season, whether it's sheriff's race, superintendent's race, whether it be a county commission race, be civil.
Yeah.
We all live here together, and we're all going to see each other a million times again. And, so look at the candidates, weigh the options, and the hallmark of any sheriff's race should be about what your credentials are and what your commitment is and your service to the community. Weigh all those options. I still think I'm the best fit for you. I go back to this, my simple saying. It's our motto at the sheriff's office: we care. Sometimes it don't feel like that. People say, you said your motto was. We got to weigh all the circumstances. If we've messed up, I apologize. But we work every day to try to get it right, and we're in the people business. And mistakes happen. But you know what? We got to own up to them, and I'm going to be that guy that owns up. And I've had to apologize more than once, and I've had to make things correct more than once in my career. And I'll continue to do that. And we live with a simple motto: we won't sleep so you can, and we won't rest until we bring justice to your cause or the situation.
And if you get a phone call from me, you're what? You're working for me?
I'm working for you.
That's right.
That's what we're doing. And it goes down to this. People want results, not rhetoric. We're going to run on our record, and I'm proud of the record we have.
Sure.
And if we can go on another night, we'll do budget. We can break down the budget.
Sure.
Deputy by deputy,
Sure.
salary by salary.
Sure.
We can go about crime stats, number by number. We have people that started some ugly stuff. I don't know where it went, but it went away because, people don't like ugly. God don't like ugly. We all got to live here together. So this political season has been a strange 2020. It is going to get better. I truly believe that. We may have a few more between hurricane season and things along the way. But we're going to get through this together.
Yes, we are.
Together.
Yes, we are. Angel, thank you very much. She wanted us to stay safe. She said thank you, Stephanie, for joining in and giving that great smile. And thanks for answering the iffy questions. And Joanne Harper says, great show, very informative. We will continue to watch Sheriff Gordon Smith. Will continue to be our Bradford County Sheriff. And Ellen says, amen. And I tell you what, we're starting to lose the stream right now, but I do want to say this is a paid political advertisement paid for by Gordon Smith, the Republican for Sheriff. On behalf of the Sheriff Gordon Smith joining us tonight, Mr. Chris Coffey, Miss Stephanie Smith right here, Mr. Dave Hall in the background, Mr. Michael Heater in the back. My name is David Rodgers. On the Spot, we'll be coming to you live Saturday night. We'll have Chrissy Thompson from the Downtown Grill. And Coach Brian Thomason will join us as we wrap up tonight. We want to thank everyone who tuned in. And remember, we're on the spot, so you can be too. Good night, everybody. God bless you. Thank you very much.
All right. Our video stream was in and out.
Starting to wait.
Okay. Okay. That's
But
cool.
with that being